opportunity to expand. So my three responsibilities will be: one, expansion for the business; two, support.
Thanks for the video.
No problem, Dave.
TLC, Larry, feeling really badly you can't get out here as much. Your company encroaches on $100 million. Tough to get everywhere, so that'll be my responsibility. And you would say some efficiencies in the organization. I would call it operational. Taking best practices from lots of locations and bringing them together, so as we roll out, we just do a better and better job. So looking forward to spending the morning with everyone. Hopefully that was really fast.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for talking fast. We appreciate it. So again, guys, welcome. So let's go ahead and start with numbers. And we'll be quick. Today's message, we're going to go through a lot of, I forgot to sync back up to AirPlay here. All right. All right. Boom. Okay, so we're going to go through numbers, and then today's message, Give to Get, is something that I was working with a couple of reps and realized that sometimes we get away from doing things that made us successful in the beginning. So I want to make sure, again, we are staying in there and realizing in the fight that we need to give at the end of it to make sure that we're not giving to give, we're giving to get. So we're going to talk about stances and how to get ahead of that. Got some cool things, I think, today. Obviously, a lot of it stands between your ears, so we overthink things. So we want to make sure, again, we're focusing on what we can control and then being mentally strong when we get inside that house. So wrapping up last month, give Dana a shout out. She $5,159 RPL, 48% close. 118,648. Mr. Doherty still overseas, basically enjoying vacation. He ended at 182,418, 8,292 RPL. Good job. Jeremy ended up 114,335, had a gross close of 33%. Good job to him. JC, knocked the cover off it. She did great. 96,216, $4,582 RPL, and an impressive 43% close. Good job. Down through here, Mr. Mark Moore, you're at 50% close, $6,724 RPL, 50% close. Good job, man. Miss Cynthia Savage went all savage on us. She's 126, 164, $5,485 RPL, and a 48% close. Good job. Only what, second month?
Yeah, well, kind of into my third month.
Yeah, kind of into the third month. Good job. We appreciate it. So again, grossed out $1,499,674. Average sale was a little light at $12,394. RPL, we need a lot of improvement on that, $34.72. So again, some of the adjustments of people that didn't hit where they needed to drew that number down. So again, we'll be working with those individuals to bring those numbers up. From that standpoint, rescission percent was higher than we expected, but with some new people in there, was setting around that about 14%. Again, we want that number as close to 10 as possible because we want to take a look at through there. Gross close that is 33%. Is where we set out through there. And again, we've been focusing on that demo rate. Demo rate was at 82%. Again, I know we can't control not homes. If we get set to a position where they're not home, something in through there, we're focused on controlling that no demos. Because again, the higher that demo percentage is, that's going to add points to our net closing percentage. So again, we need to focus on basically what we need to control there. And that's something that we want to make sure that we're growing towards. Look at the beginning of this month here. Right now, starting out, we're at 160. Haven't had that many opportunities through there, but we're doing pretty good. Revenue per lead of 5,945 is on office, which is a great job. 37% net close, which is another great job. Mr. Meggert is on fire, 75% close right now so far. He's come out of the gate with 3 out of 4 of his first deals for an RPL of $7,210. Give him a round of applause. And Mr. Dan, 38 pounder. Good job to him. And Dana already basically in the month is what two for three as far as basic demos goes. She's at 67% close, and then 76,855 already, and a $25,618 RPO. Good job. We're getting some good starts right through there. Again, we need to focus on keeping and earning what we have, so we can't let off, right? If again, like our Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays Zoom meetings, again, if you are underneath that 30 thresh mark, you are mandatory to be there, okay? We have to make sure we're doing those things to help our team grow and then helping ourselves get to that next level too. There's no excuse for not trying. Remember that old saying, you don't care, I don't care. So we got to make sure that we're doing everything we can on that standpoint to continue to raise that dial. Albuquerque beat us last month, which drives me insane. They had a little extra things in their pocket that we didn't have, but for us hitting that around 1.4 range out, we want to make sure we are doing everything in our controllable area, right? So if it rolls into patio doors, rolls into things that we're running into that we need help with, get on the phone, Mark, myself, one of your accountability partners, and have them help you through any tricky stuff we're rolling into. And if you hit an objection that we know is a normal objection, let's make sure we're focusing on how to overcome that, not just dealing with it. Dealing with things, that's Einstein's definition of insanity, and we don't want to repeat that over and over again without changing that result. So with that, before we get started, Mark, give Mark the floor. Give him a round of applause.
So I wanted to take just a moment and review something that's near and dear to me, and I'm sure it's near and dear to you guys as well. Mostly dealing with commission sheets. I've had a lot of people come to me asking questions about their commission, and I've been trying to guide people how to be able to make sure that their commissions are paid out, things like that. So I'm going to share a little story, but this is something I had built long ago. I've updated it a little bit, and I used some examples. These are fictional examples, but what I learned early on in this career, when you're paid commission, is to track everything. We do get a commission sheet, but there's been situations personally myself where I made a sale, and due to human error, that never showed up on the commission sheet, the ones that get sent out to us. So because of that, had I not noticed on the forms that you get that Norma brings every week in regards to your installation, had I not noticed that I had an installation going on that week, I went back, checked my commission sheet, was never on the commission sheet. So I was not going to get paid for a sale that I had made about a month, 2 months ago. And had I not gone back and double checked it, I would have lost out. So it happens. So due to human error, there are situations where maybe your commission sheet, something gets left out. So what I did is I began creating a tracker. So the moment I sell something, I just started inputting it. Come up with a job number, I put the customer's name, the gross sale, because there might be some adjustments, meaning that you do a change order, either up or down. So if you do a change order up, I just do a CO plus, and then the net sale. So that'd be an increase. If it's a self-gen, then I add 3%. So if you're making 9% commission, add 3%, so now it's 12%. Then you can extrapolate basically what your commission is going to be. And then what I started doing is front payout, what I expect to get paid, and then when I received it. So if you find that as you're going through your commission sheet and things aren't getting paid out, there might be some reasons for that. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But if you're tracking this, you're going to save yourselves a lot of headaches, because there might be certain situations where maybe you got paid the front half and never got paid the back half, falls off your commission sheet, and you never know. So unless you're actually manually tracking it, this is a great way to protect your investment and all the hard work that you put into it. So how do we know when it's been paid out? There's two main factors. One, that it's fully signed off by the customer, and that it's fully funded, whether it's by cash or check or credit card. It's usually the same time, the same day as the homeowner is signed off on the project. But if it's financed, let's say through Green Sky, there is probably a 3-day lag time before they actually fund it. So that for you, so if it closes, let's say it closes on, the project's done on a Friday, and the following Friday is your payday, most likely it's not going to show up on that pay period. So I always recommend, and I'm going to use Norma because I've done it many a times with Norma. If you feel like there is a project that's been on hold for whatever reason, you haven't gotten commission, you're more than welcome to send Norma an email, just a simple email. Put the customer's name, put the job number, and a lot of times I'll put when it was installed, the time frame that it was installed. All I need to know from her is, was it signed off and was it fully funded? If those two things were met, then I should be getting commission on that. If I missed that cutoff, then most likely it's going to be on the next one, but she can confirm all that. If there is an issue with the project, let's say they missed something, they have to reorder something, maybe it didn't get signed off. And so for that reason, it gets held over for another week or so. So your commission will probably be 2 weeks down the line. But if you're not following up and just assume things are going to work out, I just found through my own experience, if you don't track and you don't do your own due diligence, you will never know. So I've been able to help people who actually get commissions because we did some background research just to see what's going on.
The one thing that we have to remember, especially for the new people, is we're never told this. We kind of find this out, and we had some questions. The day that you sell it is not the day you get the front pack. It's got to be measured. So if that measure is within that pay period, then it will be on the next check. But if that measure is set outside of that pay period, you're not going to see that. So that's another thing we need to keep in mind.
What's that cutoff for the pay period?
So I think it's on Thursday, right? Thursday prior to that pay period. So like turning in paperwork, same thing. They obviously want projects closed if they can. Now there might be a situation where, let's say they did sign off, and come Monday when Norma sends out your preliminary commission sheet, if you know it was a cash paying back end, then there's a lot of times they can submit a request to Matt. Matt can go ahead and add it for that coming pay period, but you got to act quickly. Don't wait, because once you hit Wednesday, it's over. There's no chance of getting it on that pay period. So you have basically a 2-day window, Monday and by what, midday Tuesday? It's like a short window. So when she sends it out, look through your commission sheet, see if there's any discrepancies, anything that you feel should have been paid, and just shoot her an email and she'll see what she can do.
That's why following up on your financing and making sure they've got all the docs in there correctly the first time, it's going to help and benefit you greatly, right? So you can push it through and send them reminders, because, and they're not dealing, no one is your personal assistant, right? So they're dealing with, 20 of you guys. So you have 20 sales reps going through there. They can't remember what everybody says on there. Just keep reminding. Don't be pushy. Don't, be rude.
Right.
Because again, internal and external customers, but again, reminders go a long way, especially with your customers. If they haven't activated the Green Sky account and that's preventing you from getting paid, I mean, that's your money.
That's our fault too.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be reminding them. They can make it a point of it.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank
So
you.
if it's sold on Thursday, as long as it's measured by next Wednesday, we get paid on it that pay period.
As long as their Green Sky account's activated, yes.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Hey, Mark, I was just to say, I
Sure.
actually one of these from day one, and I had a couple columns. Another column is, if you've been paid on the front end and they cancel and take money back, and I have a money to take back column. And I also have another column that is install, so I know that they could install as well.
Yeah, and I've done the same thing. So I used to have an installation. I used to have closeout. So it actually confirmed that it's actually been closed out, things like that. Yeah, so if I had a cancellation, normally I just take that gross sale or that whole line and I just read it out. So I know that that was a cancellation. And then obviously you can filter, if you have filters and stuff like that, so you can track all of your self-gens, things like that. So,
That cancellation though, when they pay you on the front end, that other column's handy, because they're gonna take that money back.
and you need to know that.
That money's been taken back from you on more than one occasion in my experience, so if you have it
Correct.
documented.
Yep.
So here's one thing you should do, right? That's kind of an after meeting thing, not an in meeting thing. So we want to, if you have a best practice, the one that you use, and people want you to share it, then, sure. I think it'd be beneficial for everybody to have something like this that you can use on your own if you're not creating your own, or don't know how to use Excel, and they're basically numbers to do it. then share the wealth. Because again, these trackers right here just help you keep track of your money. At the end of the day, if you don't do it, no one's gonna do it for you. I want to make sure, again, mistakes happen, and nobody's doing it intentionally, but again, if you catch it, especially when you see your free out and say, hey, where's this and this? Generally, they're quick to response to get it corrected. So, again, though, they got a lot of reps. There's 8 locations with some similar size basic staff in here. So again, want to make sure we stay on top of our money.
Is there another way to track like bonuses and stuff like that, mileage or whatever? Do you keep that on the same spreadsheet or do you have a whole
No.
separate thing?
This is just for commission.
Is that challenging to keep track of as well? bonuses?
No, you could always add columns if you felt necessary. I just did it.
But there's a bonus spreadsheet.
There is a bonus spreadsheet you can add.
Okay.
Can you get them to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think based on your comp plan you did, 125 stays all
Yep.
net inside of it, then you would qualify for half of the numbers. Yes.
Yeah, just to kind of, I get clarity from something Dana said, as far as the first half, is it paid out after the account's been activated or after the measure?
After the account has to be activated.
Okay.
If we don't get the money, you don't get the money. That
Right.
makes sense?
But I
Okay.
was told it was after the measure as well.
That's why I'm asking.
We'll get, listen,
Yeah,
for
go
the
ahead.
meeting, we'll get you a definite answer
Yeah,
afterwards.
I'll
I
let
think
you
there's a
know.
little speculation right now. We'll get you the definite answer. Okay, but from what I understand, if you turn it into Norma by, I think, what is it, Thursday at 1? Thursday at 1 or Thursday at 11, whatever time it is, right through there, then literally, then as long as the account gets activated and we receive that first half of money, you get paid.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with the measure. I think it has to do with us receiving our funds onto it and it being turned and processed in on time.
Correct.
Okay? But again, remember, if something happens, that's a loan against future commissions. That's not your actual commission. That's what the 5% early pay is designed to do. All right. Any questions for anything Mark went over?
If you need this or want this, I'd be happy to email it to you, just text me. So I'm not gonna send it to people that don't need it or want it. They may have their own answer.
All right, real quick, play a game with me. Everybody turn over your paper real fast. And what I want you to do, I want you to visualize that you just wrote a $300,000 month. With that $300,000 month that you just wrote, what is one thing that you would do for yourself as a celebration? You just wrote a $300,000 month this month, which should happen. Then what is that one thing you're going to do or buy yourself to celebrate your success? I want you to write that down.
One thing?
One thing. What's just one thing? Not pay bills, not pay off a credit card, not do anything like that. Okay? What is one thing you would do for yourself that's unselfish just for yourself as a celebration? What? Sean, I apologize, I did miss yourself. 149, $8,330 RPO, so I forgot to give you that. All right, everybody got it? Now just hold on to it. I don't want you to tell it to me. I want you to basically hold on to that one thing. Anybody got something good though? I kind of like to hear it. Anybody got something good they would do for themselves?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it?
Go to Disneyland.
Disneyland? I love Disneyland, right? Danny, what did you do?
Oh, you want to read it?
Yeah,
I can see family in Michigan.
go see family.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Scott,
What do you think?
go on vacation?
Travel.
There we go. How about you, Dan?
I think vacation with the kids.
Vacation with the kids? It's awesome. What about you, Cynthia?
Vacation with my kids.
Vacation with your kids? Mike?
iPad Pro styles.
iPad Pro styles. There we go. Love it. Dave,
I have-
Gift cards.
you'd buy.
Obviously give me some really good leads.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Mr. Lance, what would you do?
Fishing vacation.
Fishing vacation? Cool. Lamar?
Family weekend in the Sierras.
Cool. Jeremy?
I would buy icon passes for my family.
Sweet. Sweet. What is that? What is an icon pass?
It's a ski pass, but it's ski most of the mountains on the west coast.
Ooh,
Awesome.
yeah.
There we go. Nick, what about you?
I want to invest in growth. I haven't been doing much of that this year.
Invest in growing? Gotcha. Sean, what about you, my man? Since I skipped right over you.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't really put anything on it. I try not to hold back
You try not to hold back?
every month anyway.
Because you do good every month, right? All right, basically, Mike.
I just had to put a new pair of fun socks and then just stuff the rest of the money in it.
There you go. Hauser.
Plan a long weekend.
What's that?
Plan a long weekend.
Playing a long weekend. There you go. It's good stuff, right? Unfortunately, if you all hit 300,000, we're gonna have a lot of people on vacation. But that's all right. That's all right. We can afford to take a day off, right? A day. All right. With that said, pay attention, right? This is our reset before we get into today's lesson.
What is controlling you? What is enslaving your thoughts?
We're all going through a battle in our mind. The biggest war you've ever gone through is right between your own ears. We're all going through a war in our mind, and we have to callous our mind to fight that war and to win that war. Our whole life is a setup in the path of least resistance. We don't want to feel discomfort. So the whole time, we're living our lives in a very comfortable area. There's no growth in that.
You have control over your mind. You just have to assert it. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Don't let your mind control you. Control your mind. Weakness doesn't get a vote. Laziness doesn't get a vote. Frustration, no vote. Negativity, they don't get a vote. The next time that you're feeling weak, or you're feeling lazy, or you're feeling soft, or you're feeling emotional, tell them they don't get a vote. It goes to discipline, and a power, and a positivity, and a will. And use that mind control to move your life where you want it to be. And then you can set it free.
How do you become a better person? How do you gain mental toughness? How do you become the person you want to be? It's constantly facing the things that you don't want to face. Once the mind knows you're not going to quit something, you're not going to take the path of least resistance. You're going to stay here until it's done. It's going to try to find more.
Shape yourself around the comings and goings of this world, because there's going to be blessings, there's going to be opportunity. Oh yes, there's going to be some struggles, there's going to be some challenges, there's going to be some death, but even the struggles are an opportunity for me to show off the victory in my mind and handle the change. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. As soon as you decide to stop looking for answers in other people and now go somewhere down the hill road and take the heel in your mind, you would have been free years ago. If you can get your mind out, no devil in hell, no weapon formed against you, no enemy can stop you from being free. You are the master of your own mind. Create that masterpiece. You probably said the very end of it all.
The cool thing about that video, right, is you look at it. Stop looking for answers from people. Yeah, because if you sometimes listen to people's negativity, right, they tell you how bad their last week was, and you start owning it. Then you start looking for situations like that you can relate to, and you start making excuses, right? You know, the cool thing is that 6 inches between our ears is so powerful. It's crazy. Like, I got to go golfing with the guys that I normally do as my relaxation after killing myself all week. So one of the things that was funny is my front nine, I actually beat the guy I normally go golfing with that whoops me every time. And I blame it on the first 4 holes is why I won. because the first 4 holes, every time I stood up to address the ball, there was fog. You couldn't see where you're going. You had to just trust that you were going to hit it straight, right? For some reason, every ball I hit into the fog was dead on. And so it helped me on those first 4 holes to get myself a good enough lead through there that I just had to not screw it up. So the cool thing is I wasn't overthinking it, right? Kind of funny because when the back end opened up and I ended the front round, I had him beat by one stroke on the front round. The back round, when I could actually see what's going on, he ended up beating me by two strokes for the rest of the game. But the thing is, again, I was overthinking it. I started paying attention to what I didn't want to do, and that started attracting me towards the trees and the rough and the areas I didn't want to sit. Because remember, we have 11 receptors of the brain. 8 are based on fear, 3 are based on gain, right? We talk about it all the time. So I started focusing on the 8 rather than the 3, and it really started screwing my brain. So the same thing happens when we get into a sales presentation. So we look at it as we talk about the commitments, right? And I look at, I'm huge on this. I feel like this is where the sale is made or lost, right? It's that pile of money in on the bottom of it. This is where the sale is lost, right? Because again, if we do a good job walking into the entry, we identify what color of people we're dealing with. Is it a red? Is it blue? Is it yellow? Is it a white? How are we doing this? Are we going to the window first? Are we sitting down and getting to know them? Right? Did we give our initial visit script, AK cost savings program explanation? Did we set that up early? You know, our need commitment, did we light it on fire, right? Did we make them feel that pain and urgency? Did we tie the company back into basically the need and the entry? Is the resolution tied back into the need and the company? Is the pre-close there so that way I know I'm getting a yes or no aspect on through there? I'm not running away. And then basically, is there a value commitment so I know exactly how I did? This lets me know my checkpoint, again, on how I'm doing. Isolate the objection. Do I do that before I give to get? Right? So there's a synopsis. And we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper because what happens sometimes is we know what to do. It's like in baseball. If somebody's trying to steal second and I grab the ball right here, I'm designed to basically lock down and block the bag as he's sliding back down into it. Or if I catch it coming across, I'm designed to step and walk through. I want to show you guys something that reminds me of sometimes what can happen in the presentation, where we know what to do, but we pull back just because we're comfortable, we take it for granted. Anyone in here ever lost a deal because you pulled back, you took something for granted, thought you had it, and you might have skipped a step? Ever happened? All right, I want you guys to watch this real quick before we get started.
1-2, there goes the runner, throw down, and he's going to be out. No, he's safe. He missed the tag. He hopped up, he slid short of the bag, and jumped up like a ballerina, and made the tag miss.
So you see that, right? That's a lot like sales sometimes, right? Well, we know what to do, but if you looked at him, he was already pulling away because he thought he had it, and he had to reach back out. He had to reach back out and try to tag him. So his form was wrong, right? Family, occupation, recreation, my purpose, whatever it might be right there, right? His form was wrong. He started taking for granted what he thought he already knew how to do, right? He's probably made that tag even as a kid. You get to that level in the basic Little League World Series, probably made that same tag 100 times this year. But again, because he took it for granted, he started to pull away and realized that he didn't make the tag yet, and the guy was actually able to outsmart him, right? Similar like customers do with us. I mean, customers, they go to customer school, right? With all the good excuses, basically. Hey, John and Mary, hey, guys, I want to think about this thing. You know, I never make snap decisions. You know, I never bother. You're the first person out here. I'm going to definitely check my options. You know, literally, there's 1,000 different things. I need to check with my brother, aunt, uncle, Sue, whoever it might be. You know, everything they can throw at you but the kitchen sink sets through there. So again, if we miss some of those objections, just like you saw right through there, we can basically end up beating ourselves, right? So the 6 inches between our ears, which is where it ties back into that mental attitude, is what ties us back into today's message. So we're going to talk about basically not allowing ourselves to get beaten by our own basically will of not doing what we're supposed to be doing, right? Because again, if we fall through it, at the end of it, you check box and you reverse engineer it. Where did we miss it, right? At what part, if I reverse engineer the whole process, at what part was the breakdown? So we're going to take it back through here real quick. We're going to talk about it, right? So how do we get ahead of this stuff, right? Because any objection, I feel, at the end of it, shouldn't come out at the end. It should be eliminated through the presentation, right? The best close is a massive presentation. Would you agree? If you get down to the end and they're rolling over, one or two things happen. Either they just want to get you the hell out of the house, or you did a really good job, right? So we're talking about our checkpoints through the way, because we want to make sure, again, we're doing what we need to be doing. So first off, when we get in the house, after we identify ourselves, beautiful house, John and Mary, hey, I'm Dustin Rose, Dream Star Modeling, how you doing today? Whoa, how long have you owned this house, this neighborhood? This is fantastic. Wow, it's gorgeous. You know, what made you pick this house, this neighborhood? So it sounds like to me it's going to take a stick of dynamite to get you out of here. Definitely a place you guys plan on staying for a long time, right? We're getting that all out at the beginning, making sure we're not missing anything. Then we sit down and warm up, whether it's our yellow and our white, when we sit down at the table and we're identifying basically their family, their occupation, recreation, my purpose, finding their slice of life, the things we can tie back, whether it's golf clubs, whether it's basically cars, whether it's something that they love and enjoy, we can tie and say, guess what, windows or doors are just like that, right? We're finding basically their, what is that called? Shrine. Exactly right. We're romancing, we're finding their shrine. Once we find that shrine, we want to make sure we dive onto it, we relate things and how our project is just like that, right? Sometimes people don't realize that in their own jobs, they fight for value and to explain value just the same way we do. And if we can find something to relate to it, sometimes we make ourselves easier and we can identify that in the very beginning. I always love to say, so what do you do for a living? Well, we sell, mechanical parts to airplanes. Whoa. Okay, so I bet there's a lot of competition in that, is there? Well, yeah, we go to Boeing and all these other things. Well, great. So what makes you different than the rest of the competition? I always like to add that in the beginning, because then they're going to give you their unique selling advantage on why they feel like they're good, right? It's called getting ahead of it, right? Why they feel like they're so good. They're going to justify on why the other stuff isn't good, why they are. Well, guess what? You can use some of their language they did, and you can use that back on them later. You take that baby once they do it, put it right in your pocket, make sure you're able to pull it out at the right time. That's part of this whole process is getting ahead of that, right? So next is we got to set the stage, right? We got to set our cost savings program. Remember, once we're talking about our cost savings program or initial visit savings, right? IVS or IVR. So we look at basically that we're setting the stage. We're setting that up in the very beginning of the appointment, right? Because if we go to inspection, if we give that initial visit savings or cost savings explanation at the end, after we're done with the measure, what do we just become?
Pressure.
High pressure, right? And if I'm high pressure, they're going to look at that negative at the end of it. But if I explain in the beginning, then we hired an efficiency expert, obviously, to analyze our cost of business, in regards to sales, and found out that most of our people are ready to move forward on the same day, and it prevents us from making a trip 2, 3, 4 different times down the road. Now, don't get me wrong, we'll come back as many times as you want to earn your business on a time frame that's comfortable with you. But what the efficiency expert said, we really benefited from people that purchased on the first day. Because again, it prevented us from having scheduling issues and other basic challenges down the road. I mean, let's get it straight. If I was scheduled to be here at 6 o'clock tonight, and I called you and told you I'm going back to write up my person I saw yesterday, and I can no longer see you because you heard that one sign, one in basic hands better than 2 in the bush, right? You'd be pretty mad, right? You'd probably blast us on social media. So we don't want that, just like you wouldn't want that, right? You'd be mad at us. That's why we offer that cost savings program. So again, if you choose to take advantage of it or choose not to take advantage of it, again, that's your choice at the end of it. The last thing I want to do is give you something and have to take it away if you're not ready to use it. Is that fair enough? So again, if you like what you see and think my price is fair at the end of it, we encourage you to get started. If not, we can shake hands and part friends. Is that fair enough? Cool. So again, if you like everything, be sure to ask me for it at the end. So when we're in that aspect, which is all been scripted out, most of us all know that, right? But you got to plant that at the right time. Timing is everything. Before you get generally to the first window, or if you got a red or a yellow, then you do it at the first window before you're done measuring the first window. I just explained to you how we like to conduct our appointments, right? Because again, we want to make sure that we're setting the stage, right? This is setting the stage. If you went up to watch a play and you just paid, $200 a ticket to watch a play, but the background, the stage was junk, even though the actors were really good, the scenery would be all screwed up, which would make the play go to hell. So again, you're setting the scene for the rest of the appointment right here. We got to make sure we're putting ourselves in a good position. Second, a great inspection, right? This to me is the key of our entire business. It is the key of our entire business. If you suck at this, it doesn't matter how good you are at everything else. This is the ultimate key. If you're not good at this, the key is thrown out the door and you are hopeless. And at the end of the day, you're a commodity and the only thing you're doing is selling price. Repeat that. This is where you hear the fact that you didn't make this piece unique. Swear, I don't need the BMW. I don't need the Mercedes. I don't need the Bentley. I don't need the Ferrari windows because you didn't build value in the inspection and tie the paint. This is the paint. Again, so if I'm giving a $20,000 need, if I got $20,000 need, basically as far as what the investment's going to be, I need to build $40,000 worth of pain on the inspection. If you're not that good yet, guess what? Every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, and Mark Wayne, did I not make time the other day for you even though I didn't have time? We spent a lot of time together, and I didn't have it. But I'll make sure I make it because you're that important. So again, that inspection side of it is so key. Dave, we worked on basically the 3 Ds, right? Infiltration, conduction, convection. Done a big job on changing when you see a window that doesn't look like anything's wrong with it. Glass and aluminum, 2 best conductors known to man, right? To get into that aspect, there's so many things you can talk about on inspection that can drive them wild. But the key is you have to make everything on this part of it feel unique. And I need to be using fear pictures. If I'm not using fear pictures, showing what a rotten knee wall could look like if it gets any worse, show them. I've seen this too, and it looks like there's signs of this starting. I'm not saying it's there yet, but we want to get ahead before it does get there, right? Because I'm seeing definite signs. Now this is unique because we can't just glue a window over top of another window. Matter of fact, let's put the level down on your seal here and see what's going on. Because this is racked out of square. So again, it's like a gutter. If your gutter's bent or broken, you wouldn't just put a gutter inside the gutter. You'd have to take it out and put a new one up, right? So this is no different than what has to happen here. But the unique thing is nobody in San Diego is doing this. They're either doing a straight new construction or they're just basically gluing it to the outside of the window. And that's not going to be a fix for you, is it? That's like a Band-Aid. And you want to get this done right the first time or not do it at all, right? So build that urgency and need, right? We all know how to do it. We just got to make sure we put it in play. We can't forget how important it is. So if John's coming outside with you, but Mary's sitting her butt in the kitchen, grab Mary's butt and get her outside. If Mary's outside with you, but John's sitting there watching TV and you don't want to interrupt him, bull crap. Get him up and pull him outside. Find a reason for him to do it. This is your one shot. This is your stage. And if you can't get either of them because they're disabled in wheelchairs and can't get outside, take some freaking pictures on your iPad and bring it back in and put it inside their face. You gotta make sure, use your tools. Second, everybody needs to have 3 or 4 fear pictures, right? Of things that they can show on why they need to be scared to do the wrong thing. Or what could be happening behind that, or the stucco, or the issue, right? Because there's so many aspects where we can make a big difference in here that we have to make sure we're doing the little things. Remember, elephants don't bite, mosquitoes do. So we got to make sure we're paying attention, not getting bit up by mosquitoes at the end because we didn't make it an elephant. Make sense? Yeah. So again, inspection is everything. During inspection too, I need to start my price impression. Some of you that get down the end and people are still falling over dead on the price, and you're forgetting this piece, right? Because price impressioning starts early and it never quits. Starts early and it never quits. So I'm looking at what's going on below a window, right? What's the average cost of a knee wall, Mike Hauser?
12 to 2,000.
So 1,200 to 2,000, right? To rebuild a knee wall underneath there, and that's not even including the window. So you start looking at that. If I took that around every window in there, we're seeing problems. Think about how much more expensive that could get if we let it get any worse, right? And not to mention, now you take a couple-day job and you turn in a couple extra weeks by the time you have to recut that drywall, basically tape it, mud it, sand it, come back again, repeat if you need to. Then basically we're texturing it, we're basically painting it, and all those other things that go into. There's 8 steps to basically doing drywall. There's equally amount on the outside with stucco and trying to make it match. We don't want to let it get to that point, right? We want to problem prevent. If I told you, hey, Mike, I know you have a knee problem, but you can either deal with it and a couple of years from now we can have surgery, or you can just take the Tylenol every day and get going on to the house pain. It hurts. It hurts, right? So inevitably you know what the situation is going to happen. But let me ask you, do you want to keep putting it off or do you want to get ahead of it before it causes maybe some permanent damage?
Let's get ahead of it.
Let's get ahead of it. So again, we want to make sure we have to put them in a slice of life of things they can understand. But for the instance, we got to build a picture around them that's bigger than what they're seeing, right? So the next piece of it is this. Tie dream style back to the pain you found on why this is a unique situation that we should be the only and the best option for. Okay? I think some of us are missing that. They're missing. And the reason we're missing it is because if you just sell the product and you just sell the paint, where are we tied in the mix? Right? Why are we unique to that situation going on their house? If there's cracks in the stucco, if the windows are fogging, if you take 5 different measurements of the window or door, and basically, you know, that baby's not square in there, this isn't just something anyone can handle, guys. I mean, obviously, I think if you'd have gotten this thing 4 or 5 years ago, it probably would have been something that would have been a lot cheaper to handle, but it's getting past that point. And you agree that this is going to take a specialist to do. This isn't an everyday install. You glue this thing, think about it. If I glue something square in an unsquare opening, it's going to look odd. It's going to look crazy inside of that. So again, we want to make sure we make it look like it belongs to the house, not like somebody just glued something on the outside just to plug a hole. And we're not trying to check a box, we're trying to do it right the first time and not touch it at all, right? So here's why Dream Style is different. Number one, we don't subcontract. We have our own W-2 employees out there installing, right? So we're used to dealing with situations, which is why not only 2017, but 2018 together, we were ranked the #1 full service remodeler in the entire United States. So that should give you peace of mind knowing that we can handle a situation like this because we just don't specialize in gluing windows on the outside of your house and flipping a coin if it's going to leak or not. Because again, I can't depend on silicone, right? There's no silicone that's permanent, which is why every warranty disclaims that, telling you it's not a permanent fix. Just think about it, right? How am I tying that back into that? How am I tying the company back in? Why is that pain? Why is Dream Style the only and the best solution after you're done with that company presentation? Do you check the box and reverse engineer and figure out that you did a good enough job selling the process, right? Why is it important to have a project manager follow that job to the end? Why is it important to have basically one number to call if there's a problem? Why is it important to have a factory direct solution? All that stuff matters, right? So again, we're going to use our price impressioning there on the different types of products they can do, right? Talk about your industry standard vinyl plastic. You can throw prices out there for industry standard wood, industry standard fiberglass, whatever you want to do out there, you should be price impressioning. Our sheet that we print out for you, where you literally write out how many windows they have and then what the cost of the window is. So you're showing the accurate amount. Because again, you're price impressioning for 10 windows, but they have 20 in the house. Is that a correct price impression? So that means the Keynote pricing, if you're using the Keynote on that, wouldn't be the correct price impression. That would be low. And never price impression in single windows. So it's not $2,000, not basically $1,200 to $2,400. No, it's $24,000 to $48,000, right? So again, we want to give the range of what it's going to be. So a project like this is going to cost you between $38,000 to $56,000 to do that. Does that surprise you that replacing windows costs that much today? So again, we got to get those tie-ins because boom, at the end of it, we don't want them wiggling out. We want to close that gap on them again, so that way they're focused on moving forward and we've closed the doors behind us, right? So at the end of it, after we get our commitment, Dan, what's our commitment to the company?
You're 100% confident that Dream Style Remodeler is going to do a fantastic job.
Yeah. So you're 100% confident, trusting Dream Style Remodeler your own? Yes. Really down base with the level of basically issues and challenges you called us out for today, not to mention we found in the inspection. Are you 100% confident we can take care of all that thing for you, be 100% satisfied? Yeah, we love you guys. Cool. So again, we've got to get it to a point where we're going to make sure that they love what we're going to be doing for them, right? We're building a picture and putting them in a slice of life that they already see it happening before it's even done. Can they visualize, after they're done with your presentation, can they visualize this whole process, what it looks like from beginning to end, by the way that you're explaining the process? Can they already put themselves into that slice of life so they know what to expect? That's how you know you're doing a great job, right? You're building a picture for them before it happens. Oh, something happened. Let's get down here. Resolution. By the way, this is all tying give to get back together, right? Because if I miss any of these, then it's going to be really hard to get this, right? So I don't want you thinking that give to get's the only thing you got to be good at. You got to focus on everything, right? Because everything so far is a door. And I want to close every door back behind me so that way it's locked and they can't walk back through it, right? So again, resolution on why unique product selection and installation methods are solving all problems they call us out for and what we found during the inspection. Not to mention color and design. Nothing else they're looking for. That's the key. At the end of it, you want to make sure and identify there's nothing else they're looking for. They haven't found, they don't have another puzzle they're setting out. There's no other window frame, no other styles, no other colors, no other choices. There's nothing else. We found their car keys. It's like we were gifted, and the good Lord above put us on their doorstep to basically have Dana come in there and show them everything they love so she can do her beautiful video testimony with them. At the end of it, talk about how much they love everything. So again, it's like they found their car keys and they're done looking because there's nothing else they're looking for, right? And we've identified that in the close. Jonathan, you called me out here because the wind was leaking through your windows and the sun's coming in, it's fading your carpet, it's making you uncomfortable in the living room area where you just can't use that window. Can you see how we've taken care of that problem for you? Yes. Not to mention we found the stucco. We found some damage to the stucco on the outside of it. We looked at basically some of the watermarks that are happening on the side of the aluminum windows from the sweating and condensating we talked about. You see how we're taking care of that? So we're bent down for getting back down the knee wall. So again, it's not costing you another basically $12,000 to $2,000 per window on top of that. You understand how we've taken care of that? Is there anything else when we went through the inspection or what you call us out for today that we didn't take care of that was important to you? No, so it sounds like to me we've got everything covered. Okay, so let me ask you as far as design, operation, colors, choices, have we gotten all that stuff taken care of for you too? Cool, so there's nothing else you're looking for, is that correct? So again, if I repeat that, there's nothing else that I left off that's important to you guys when we do this project? Great, thank you. It's a great commitment. Think about that, great freaking commitment. You can tie that right back to it again, right? Because again, you're putting that right back in their face. Pre-close, major step. If you don't ask, you will not receive. For you people that are married or significant others, if you don't ask them to date you, you don't ask them for marriage, you're not going to get married. You don't ask, you will not receive, right? So again, this is the major part. If you miss this part, you will fail. At the end of it, they will have permission to give you every excuse known to man. They'll throw the kitchen sink at you with excuses. They rush sometimes, Mike, they'll be like, right, well, like, hey, let's go out and have a cup of coffee. We can just write excuses to make salespeople's lives living out. Call it basically 101 best objections. So again, we know if we get our pre-close here, so John, it sounds like to me if everything's a fit, really there's nothing besides price or payment that's going to keep us moving forward. Is that correct? Great. So what do we say next? What do we say next? Is that it? Nothing else? Right? Is that it? Nothing else? Yes. Once you get that out, man, it's all about money. That is nothing else? Great line. Right? What else are they going to say? No, you don't put on the kitchen sink at you right now. No, you can't. They say, no, it's all about money. They don't know what the price is going to be. If you've done a good job price impression, they're going to know that you're either high or right in that mix, or maybe they went sleeping on you. But for the most part, they're going to know what to expect at the end of it if you did a good job price impression. Right? Because you can't run away from it. Now remember, I took that little sabbatical when I left basically Dallas and I went to St. Louis. One of the reasons they wanted me to come in there and manage and help blow it up because I didn't want to manage. I took over an Infinity by Marvin that ran like a disaster that I ended up quitting in 3 weeks because they wouldn't show me a P&L. And it was just, they were not doing it. They weren't paying their vendors. They weren't doing anything. So there was nothing I could do to help them. And I took that personal. So I really wore a lot of stress for 3 weeks trying to fix something that I've been generally good at fixing because I've paid enough dumb tax and learned what not to do in the past to where I couldn't even help them. But again, you can't see a P&L. They're not paying the bills. They're not paying their installers. And obviously they got one destiny and that's to go out of business, right? So I went over to RBA and I started just selling. And I hadn't sold in 10 years. So what I did is I took all the things that I've always done that I learned through Pacesetter. I learned through basically, the bath businesses I was in. I've learned through Champion and some of the other companies, not to mention, some of the stuff they were doing out there with the whole Camry stuff. And literally I took that process and I figured out where the holes were. And how I figured the holes is getting in front of the customers and figuring out what the objections were. Once I found the objections, Then I reverse engineered the objections and figured out what was causing it. And number one, it was too much money, right? More money than they're comfortable spending. It means that I didn't do a good enough job setting it up to where they weren't falling over dead at the end, which is where I created that price impressioning form that was nowhere as pretty as the one you guys used, by the way. There's a black piece of paper that had wood clad, that all those products stuck on it, and I hand wrote on it in a red marker because I didn't want to take the time to make a good one. But that same thing right through there allowed me to write 2.3 million in like less than right around 8 months. So it just allowed that thing to set up and basically just pick that system in a little tiny market like St. Louis. We killed it. And then basically I started teaching everybody that same process, but they wanted me to start managing, and then we blew the hell out of everything. And it just goes that when you're smart enough to realize what's causing the objection, and you don't think it's just an objection, and you realize there's something that's causing that, you get smart enough to figure out how to get ahead of it, big things happen, right? Big things happen. So again, that's where the 6 inch between your ears can come into such a big problem, right? So let's talk about commitment to value before we get into it. Then we're going to do a little role play in here. I want to make sure that we are, we're going to divide out in teams. I thought about bringing everybody up here individually, but I want it to get into teams, and I want you guys to do it in teams. You guys are going to grade each other. What did you do good? What could you done better? And what did we learn from it? And I want you guys to be crucial to each other, not rude, but crucial to each other, and making sure at least we're doing what we need to be doing to be successful. Call somebody out if they're not doing something that's going to cause an objection in the house. Call them out. This is not the time to be someone's best friend or your lunch buddy. This is your accountability partner. Each one of you guys are going to be there. So let's talk about this for a second, right? Commitment to value. This is getting the buy-in that what you did, and you did what it takes to earn the business, or earn their business. This is where the truth is revealed on how good of a job you did. Don't use the word thousands, right? This is your truth serum. This is why I'm such a big advocate on getting that commitment. This is truly your truth serum. When you ask for that commitment to value, and you rip down through there and you said, John, I'm ready to take care of all the problems you called me out for today, not to mention we found on the inspection, and you're listing those items, not just saying it, you're listing those items of what we found on the inspection and what they called you out for. Can you see how we hold the value of only $34,746 is a good value to take care of the project on your home? Again, with everything we have to do to accomplish that, you can see the value, right? Yes, yes, no, no, maybe, maybe, whatever it might be. They might, pucker the rear end up. But again, we're not asking them to pay that, but we need to get them to commit that's good value. And how hard they fight you is going to tell you what a job you did on price impression. Okay? That's going to tell you how good of a job you did price impression. If they're crapping their pants here and bending over backwards and ask you if you got any other options, then we probably missed something. So again, that's where that self-identification, the 6 inch between the ears needs to come. If I had to figure out reverse engineer, where did I make that happen? Where did I lose the value? Where did I not build the value? Was it in my inspection? Did I not make it feel unique? What's saying there? So if problems come out right now where they said that, oh, thank you. Can you email me that? Can you email me that? Right? You ever hear that? Can you email me that? Okay? It means they're shutting down because they can't afford it. Right? Can you email me that? Or two is, I think we might have to go get another other options or see what other options are out there for us, right? All that means right now is what? It's all money, right? So again, we got that definition. It's all about the money. So everything they give you at this point, once they said yes, it's nothing but the money. Everything else is an excuse, right? So unless they're refinancing their house or they got some condition, not suddenly they just got stage 2 cancer. God bless their heart. I don't know one ever has that, but they just had it and they just got it today. Like after you gave them the price, suddenly they got diagnosed with it. So I just, you hear some of the things on the rescission stuff that makes me laugh. But it's not basically that cancer's not funny, but when you use it as a situation to tell me that you got an illness. So again, right here, this is where you need to do a good job. So you need to basically sit right through here and stick your guns and realize that nothing they're throwing at you here is relevant unless it's about money. I just want you to know that right now. If you did your job and you got the commitment, anything besides price or payment going to keep us moving forward today, and they tell you yes, anything but yes or no is a lie. It's all about the money. Repeat that. So Mike, if anything but a yes or no right here is what?
Nothing but a lie.
Nothing but a lie. Mike, anything but a yes or no right here is what?
Nothing but a lie.
Nothing but a lie, right? So again, we want to make sure that we're keeping their butts accountable. Because that's it. Because right now we need to roll into that. And remember, never use the word thousands. I will freak out on you and I'll dig a hole in the backyard and bury you in it if I hear you say thousands in this. So if I hear you say, well, John, here the investment is only, $34,336, I will boot you out of my door. There's no way. That is not what you're trained to do. That is horrible. Because again, what you're doing is they're shutting down immediately on you. You don't want them to shut down. You want them to accept it. If I say 34,736, again, that's something I'm trying to wrap their head around. And don't say 34,746, 34,746. Okay? Make it so it rounds like it comes off your tongue. Like you're speaking the comma, 34,736, right? You're speaking the comma in there and have a little pause. So again, want to make sure we get good at that. So again, remember, when we drop this price, their reaction is what? What is it?
I love it.
What is it telling us about our presentation at that point? What's it telling us about our presentation? It gives you the checkbox to know if you did a massive presentation or not. And if you didn't, this is where it's going to come out. If they don't kick you out of list price, they're asking you how to buy. So what you got to ask yourself is, how easy are you to buy from? If they basically don't kick you out of list price, they're asking you how to buy. How easy are you to buy from, Mike?
I'm super good. People love me.
Sure. So again, think about that. That's what you need to dig your heels in. When they don't kick you out or ask you to leave after you drop list price and you're explaining discount, they're not asking you to leave. They're sitting there engaged into it. They're asking you how to buy. Are you doing a good job with basically showing your monthly investments? Are you doing a good job explaining what their options are, right? Or are you stuck there trying to sell basically the 27 or 26 grand that's sitting up through there and trying to focus on selling that? If you're doing that, I can tell you, you need a kick just like you did if you said the thousands on the other one. Because if you're not selling the payment, then how crucial is the payment sale?
It's everything.
If you're not selling the payment, how effective are you going to be in the house?
Well, you gotta listen to their situation too, because sometimes people can't do the 0 to 0 for 24. You gotta listen to, how long they're gonna be there, what their budget is. Sometimes they throw that out there, so you gotta, or if they're refinancing, of course, you can bring in the 0 to 0, but it's crucial. You gotta use every single part of the payment.
100% of the time, every time, you should use the monthly investment as your starting point. Okay, and then work with the monthly investment. It's easier for somebody to afford, $573 a month, easier than $23,436, right? Let me ask you here. You wrote a check for $23,743, knowing that only 5% of basically America has more than $5,000 in their checking account, not their savings or their retirement, but in their checking account at one time, right? And you're trying to get $23,000 from them on one mark. What's that? No, you're trying to get basically $23,000 from them on one mark. If you had to write a check for $23,000, would you miss it?
Yeah.
If you're no longer making interest, you're no longer basically able to put that money in the market, make money on your money, like Nick said, I put some money in the market and let my money work for me, right? So again, if you're not having that money in the market and you move it out of the market, now what happens, you've lost that money forever. And if there is a rainy day or something that happens, like something happens with a kid's tuition, a car goes down, an emergency happens, right? Or basically something out of the ordinary catastrophic happens, or they realize that money is going to leave the account, their instances to fight or flight, right? The 8 receptors kick in based on over the 3. It's nice to have new windows, but we've been dealing with these things for 10 years. Screw it. We just need to put it off right now. We can't afford it. Oh my God, we got to get this back. This money's going to come out. And we only got 3 days to do it. Oh my God. Don't you think that's what people think? Right? It's a buying cycle.
Well, even
So-
for the cash buyers, you can even ask them, okay, are you in a position to do that? Well, yeah, honestly, that's not using your money very wisely. We have another payment plan. So even the people who want to pay cash, you can get them to do a payment plan to earn interest that's taking it out of their account, paying us. They can end up paying for a window or two by the end of the 2 years. So,
Yeah, and don't use the word finance, use the word open account. So what we do is we open the account at 60 months for you, or open the account at 84 months, or basically 120 months for you. Basically, we could do that, and that's going to be $543 a month. Let me ask you, have that $543 a month in your budget, right? Open an account, not finance. I don't even like payments. The payments are kind of scary. Open an account. Open an account for you. Okay. I learned that from a guy that ran the Austin branch. When I heard it in the sales meeting. Ooh, that's catchy. Open an account doesn't sound scary. We just open an account for you. I just pay a month. Nothing scary about that. But if I tell you you're going to finance it, that's like I sold your neighbor. Yeah, that's going to turn out real good. I happily involved your neighbor, right? So again, we're not using those fear words. So you got to be careful with that stuff, right? So again, they don't kick you out at list price. They're asking you how to buy. Again, sell the discount. This is something I guarantee you that we're not doing 100% effective either. Okay, I've watched some of us do the role plays on the discount. You have to make the discount feel unique. You got to make it feel special. You got to make it feel one of a kind. Even if you've seen it every day, it's the first time they're ever seeing it. Just like the glass pack presentation. It's even though you've seen it 1,000 times, it's the first time they're ever seeing it. Do you have permission to run it for them? No. Even though you think it's boring because you've done it, it's their first time ever seeing it. So you do not have permission to run it for them. So again, same thing here. Sell the discount, make it unique. Use terms like it's the best I've ever seen. This was last month's promotion. I have no clue how long this will be available. Matter of fact, I'm surprised it's still in there. Okay? Make it feel unique. Use thousands when explaining discount only. Okay? Use thousands when explaining discount only. Right? So these are all the basics. Gone through these things 1,000 times. But it's always good to have a reminder, right? Next, sell the payment, not the price. Don't focus on the overall, focus on the payment. Remember, everyone is paying cash at $5K, but not $20K plus. Here's one thing I'll tell you too. Think about this statistic. 60 to 65% of all the business we write in San Diego is financed. If you're not focusing on gaining that 65%, and you're only focused on the 35, and you're playing 20% and 35%, that's not very good, right? I'm trying to close 30 and 35%, or basically I've got my mass, which is my 65%. Which am I going to do better? Focus on the majors, not the minors. Make them tell you and force you and prove to you they can pay cash for it. You know what a 12 months no interest, no payment cash buyer is? That's somebody who can pay cash twice for it. If they can't pay cash for it twice, and they're not trying to juggle like getting a bonus and they want to pay it off on the bonus, and if that bonus doesn't happen, then so your deal's not happening either, that's not a cash buyer. That's not a 12 months no interest buyer. That you're putting them in a position to fail and put them at credit risk. That's not a good position to be put into, right? Better one to put them in would be the 6.99 for 60, and then basically tell them there's no penalty for early payoff onto it. Rates have gone up. You know, they dip down, they go up. They dip down, they go up. It doesn't matter what situation you're into. You're there as offering that at convenience, right? If they really feel like they can beat something like that at their bank, challenge them. Challenge them to do it. Because going to get an unsecured note at 6.99 or lower from their own bank ain't going to happen. There's no collateral. So again, they could probably refinance their house. That's 30, 45 days, not taxed the home, right? They can use a PACE financing, which again is 30, 45 days, and then basically that's tied to the home and the interest, right? So what else can they do in their house that's not tied to the house where they can take advantage of open account monthly without paying a payoff? And if they end up something happens where they lose their job or catastrophe happens, they're not going to come take their house. Think about it. So what are you doing putting them in a position where 12 months no interest where they can't afford it anyways? Even if they're credit worthy, can they really pay for it twice? So think about that, right? Because that's sometimes what causes rescission. So again, remember, focused on the majority, not the minority. If you're focused on running into a cash buyer every time you walk in the house, you're going to have a shitty closing percentage, excuse my language, every single month. Okay? You focused on selling that payment and pushing that payment and making it sound almost ignorant not to take advantage of the payment. That's where selling that payment comes into big part. Gigantic. All right. Indy, commitment to give to get. Use that discount coupon, right, that you present the coupon, you got one in your bag. You need to use that commitment to get all objections out. All objections have to be gotten out before you give that cost savings program. If you don't get all the objections out there, then what happens is you're going to try to get it with nothing left in the tank. If I'm trying to fight like a dog, but I got nothing left to give, there's no movement. If I give them all three prices up front, and I tell them, John and Mary, here's what you do. Here's basically your coupon discount, 25%, best one I've ever seen. Here's basically your initial savings. Again, this one leaves after I leave. That's not the right way to do it. Because what happens is they're going to call you back and say, well, if I call you back on Wednesday at basically 5 o'clock, you're going to get that to me. And I know you're going to. You can't tell me you wouldn't. If I tell you you're doing that, or you're not getting the business, why would you put yourself in that position? Because guess what happens? Once they find it, you get some social media guru out there, and the next thing you know, they post that on social media. Now you just made us look like a liar. Now you just made us look like our integrity of our business is gone because we didn't follow the process. Make sense? And there's zero defense for that. So again, we try to protect ourselves against all those things. That's why you've got to be so on point with it. Because again, if I explain that cost savings program for initial business saving in the beginning, then it's not a big deal when I explain it at the end. And again, after I'm getting all my objections out, they don't know if that's included in there or not. Why would I give something and have to try to tell them or pull it away after I leave? That makes me the bad guy. Now, let's go to the next point for this.
Jesse, can I ask one question on that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you get like a very clear, like, a widow or older woman like that saying, I'm not gonna be able to make a decision today. I'm gonna have to run this past my son.
Great. Here's what I would like to do then. I would like to go and invite you and your son into the showroom, and then go ahead and schedule for him to do that so he can see everything we talked about today. Because let's face it, if I'd have walked and knocked on the door today and told you these windows are going to be $34,336, would you even let me in? So if you go try to explain that to your son, what do you think he's going to tell you? Too much money, Mom. So here's what I suggest: before you share anything, just tell him you have an appointment to come in the showroom that you're requesting him to come to. Because again, there's some extra benefit where we have discounts that are going away. So we want to make sure he gets in there at that time period. So what time could we set you and him up for to come into our showroom so we can show you what these windows look up close like what they look like up close, and then share with you the best possible discounts that I can provide for you. What would be the best time we could do that?
My son is too busy, he doesn't have time to do stuff like that.
Okay, then can we get him on the phone? That's the other option I take. So if I can't set the appointment, that she's telling me he's too busy, well, he's not too busy to take a phone call from you, right? So let's get him on the phone real quick.
Would you recommend phone option first and then appointment second, so you can close it right there?
It depends on the option.
Like
Sometimes
now, like while you're doing the prices.
Yeah, sometimes when little Missy's there and you know that, you should find that out early, right? So that way you can either set a time where both of them are going to be there. She's going to have her neighbor come over or somebody that's going to help her out. If I get ahead of that, remember the first thing we talked about is get ahead of it. If I get ahead of that, then it's not hitting me when I get my cost savings program out, right? That's why, again, she would have told me no when I said, is there anything besides price or payment is going to keep us moving forward today? She would say no. And I'd say, okay, I got to respect that. Now I got to set up my next step, right? So there's not always a feedback, but if I know I'm in a position where I'm not going to be able to get it, I can try everything I can still try inside the house. I'm not going to not try. But again, if I get to a point where I know I'm not moving, I'm not going to throw that thing at her and say, yeah, sure, call me in a week. You're dead. You're dead in the water. You might as well just pack your stuff up, leave, chalk it one in the lost column. You got to get them a reason on why they need to set that appointment back, or why you need to get back from the son-in-law or whatever it is. Because if you just leave without anything in return, you're not going to be in a position. Because that to me is as much of a one party as two parties mixing. Because again, they don't make their own decision.
It happens frequently, so everybody gets it. So it's just when you find it out and you're really going through very clearly at the beginning, and it's obvious that, and you can't get the guy on the phone and blah, blah, blah. You just continue on with the presentation knowing that that's what you're going to get at the end.
You do what I used to do when I was sitting in that position. If I knew I didn't have a cell there, well, number one, I'd gauge, is this an appointment that I really want to burn an appointment time on my calendar for? If it's not one I'd ever want to go back to, I'm gonna run the play. I'm gonna run the play and say, what do you think your son would say? If your son were sitting here, what do you think he would tell you to do? If I were presented to him, he called you and asked you, what would he tell you to do? I'd put that position and switch their parties, But for the most part, what I would do is I'd measure the house and find a reason bigger than she feels like she can handle on her own and would want him here for it. Let me ask you, if a pipe were leaking and busted on the floor, would he come over here to help you? So again, this is kind of what we're talking about here. We probably need to get him out to take a look at this thing. So again, I think it's that serious. Would you agree? Okay, so what date and time could we go ahead and meet back there? So again, that's where we want to try to find a reason to get them back together. Make sense? Okay. But again, this is if you said yes or no, right? And you're in a position where we can do it, not a one-off. We're not talking 10% of the time or that 30% or 40% we can't do anything with, right? We talk about if we write 10 of these on the board, 6 of them, if we got one, if we try to go 1 for 2 on the 6, which would be the minimum we go is 1 for 2. If we get 6, we're all homeowners there. They give us the right amount of time and make sure they're going to buy windows, if not now, sometime in the future. That's really what we're looking for, right? So on this stage, yes.
Would you recommend getting them back into the showroom or meeting back at the house? Which would you say would be?
I always like to say, you invited us into your house, we'd like to invite you into ours. So that's one of my favorite lines. Because you get them into the showroom, there's no rescission. And number 2, you've got your full working samples right through there that you can take a look at. Okay? All right. Make sure you repeat back after they give you the objection, right? So you're getting all objections out. After they give it, repeat it back. Okay? Always repeat it back, because here they're going to come up with, I need to think about it, or whatever it might be. Repeat it back and say, so is that it and nothing else? Yes, so is that it and nothing else? They tell you, I want to think about it, so it sounds like to me, the only reason why you're not moving forward today is just that you need to think about it, right? Thanks for sharing that. It sounds like to me, that's it and nothing else. Let me ask you, if you thought about it between now and next week, what would you do? Come on, level with me. You know, when people, nice people like yourself tell me that, it means 1 or 2 things, right? They have found the product, company, or warranty that fits in their budget, right? Or number 2, the price they're willing to pay. So let me ask you, how much too much is the $373 a month, right? So we're going right back to that line that gets us back to the meat again. We're taking their crap, we're shoveling it to the side, and we're taking it right back to the payment again because the rest of it doesn't matter. So again, we can't buy into that crap. You need to step right through it and basically put them back on point, right? Because they're trying to throw you a stall. So that stall's gone. Once they said yes or no on price or payment, that stall's gone. That's irrelevant. If you're buying it at that point, they're selling you. You're getting sold. They're going to go cash your commission check on basically saving dollars to do it wrong. You're not putting them in a better position. You're putting them in a worse position because they're going to take advantage and buy off commodity because they remember what you said and they're going to think everybody else does the same thing. So again, we got to get it while the getting's good. So after we isolate that objection, don't give the initial visit discount until it's all about the money. Don't give the initial visit discount until it's all about the money. Make sense? If you do it, you're dead in the water. Once they tell you it's all about the money, and that's it, then we need to figure out where we're going, right? So if at pre-close they commit to nothing but the money, then take it back to affordability of the payment. How much too much, say the numbers, then always give a range. If you don't give a range, they say, well, so what do you think you could afford? $50. I'm at a $400 payment. Well, then you just beat yourself is what you did. You open them up to wiggle out of it. So you got to give a range. So let me ask you, if that monthly payment is not affordable, what is? Is it $375, $400? So I give them a range, right? So they're going to go at one of those 2 ranges. But they might say neither one is. Well, what is more? Like, give me, what are you thinking? $275, $300? What are you thinking? At that point, I need to probably go down to a starter package because I put them in a more window project than they can handle. Right? So that's kind of identifier of knowing where you're at. Because if they're not affordable at $425, well, how much really more affordable are they going to be at $375? Right? Maybe I put them in a too much project. So I need to look at peeling back the onion a little bit. So let me ask you guys, when you go to a project like this, if you start it, is it something you plan on finishing? Yes, well, I got a program just for you then. Here's what we do. And then break out your starter package and show what that investment would be. You don't have to revisit everything else again. Take it right back to the point after your coupon and talk about how much savings they would have on that one. At least just get you started. So again, got to give a range. Remember, this is your last shot to come up with the correct drop needed to get the business. It's your last shot. You can't drop and drop again. Guess what you lose? Credibility, right? So again, get them to commit So if we could get to the 375, is that what it would take to start your project today? So if we could get to the 375, is that what it would take to start your project today? And if they say yes, what do we repeat after? Say it out loud again. Because again, if we do that, there's really what?
Wiggle room.
There's no wiggle room. There's nothing else. You got them. Congratulations. You can cash that check, right? So again, that nothing else, then we give the IVR. Remember, if you drop more than 2 times, you generally lose credibility. Sell the value, not the price, okay? So what I want you guys to do is on your leaps, each table, take out one that's at least 10 grand or more on one of your last leaps that you presented on your price presentation. I want you guys to set up at the tables, and I want you guys to focus on role playing with each other. And again, when we do that, what do we do good? What could we have done better? And what do they learn from it? I'll come around and periodically check, so we'll mark. But again, we want to make sure we're getting ourselves to a point where we can execute this flawlessly. Make sense? All right. So go ahead and I guess there's enough groups there. Mark, you want to divvy groups out, or what are you going to do? Sure. Okay. And then pick what one you want Charlie and Matt on. Pick what table you want Charlie and Matt on.
That sounds good. Do we want them to work in pods of 2 or as a full table?
Separate us that way. It's equal. Everything's equal as far as it goes. But put different levels of people with it.
All right, you guys are here.
All right. Every month.
Is that what you're doing?
This is everybody, but we have one in Orange County, and then there's one in Piper. So there's 3 not. When we transition,
So on the short so not like this is getting. Okay, so they're pulling out that one read box.
Yeah, what did you
Want to get today?
Yeah.
I got good stuff. Yeah, I saw that Ben Lionel's all this place.
Real quick, just so you guys know, Jason, project. She'll have it already. I'm gonna kind of walk on to the person. Well, Red is the trigger point. She's looking for that actually. You guys can look for blue is
Yeah, we're kind of waiting there. Yeah. Okay. Watch the video, maybe using that one. I want to really work on it. Didn't have to, I think it's good enough to lay out there and you can see your, yeah, stuff to do it now. Yeah, I feel comfortable when I'm doing myself. It's all right, thank you, Destiny. I'll see you later. I'll let you know if I can even get in there.
Well, they're not going to be
Let
surprised.
Charlie sit in here with you guys.
You know,
Oh, hey, Charlie.
it's not a, you know, it's not gonna be a surprise.
Hey, guys.
Different options.
That's
You're on the speaker.
God, is that you?
No, it's George Burns.
Oh, love that guy.
So again, it's like number one, it gives them, at least you're getting feedback as to what their initial expectations are long before you're actually showing what the price is. You know? And then when it comes to show the price, you know, it's always like, hey, look, it's not going to be a surprise. We've just gone through the different options. It's going to be more like, okay.
You got to get them to realize this is going to be, you got to build a bigger number in their head.
Right.
Because it's true. It always comes
And
down
nobody
to.
wants the cheapest. Nobody wants the most expensive. What you want is a good quality product at a fair price. And so that's the thing too, is with that sheet, if I'm showing that your Anderson is $130,000, you know, then it's like, we're not the most expensive, you know, and we're not the
It's
cheapest.
true. It's very true. We are not. We're like in the middle, but we do it the right way. So you can either nickel and dime yourself to try to find this unicorn for pennies on a dollar, which you're not going to, or you could just beat yourself up knowing that you just paid more for an incorrect install, and the two products, the product and the install, are not warranted. Does that sound like something that should be important to you? Is that the install being warranted? Yeah. Oh
We do
God,
get
I hear
those
it.
answers.
I get that. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. But
I had
again,
them
we
last
missed
week.
something. We didn't build
No,
a
I gotta
value.
sell this place because I'm getting a divorce. I just want a cheap price.
Yeah. I thought you were Milgard. Oh. Oh, my wife called you? No, get out of here.
I heard Anlin's the best.
Yeah.
I just heard that for the first time last week.
Anlin, that's through American Vision, isn't it?
There's a couple companies that sell it.
Yeah. I hear they're actually pretty good windows, but I just want to know.
That's what I've heard too.
I just want to know what we're doing different than anybody else, because I have a feeling we are in the sea of sameness sometimes.
Sometimes we are.
But the only thing it comes down to is product and warranty.
Yes, company and the installation. It's like that's what we're doing different.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we're warranting it different. That's the only thing.
Well,
we're warranting
warranty on the installation.
Yes, that's the only thing that we're doing different.
Right? Because Anderson's only 2 years.
Oh, I want everybody to go around his fence.
Okay.
Everybody's gonna go
Yeah,
on.
that's rock and roll.
Oh, no, this is you.
Yeah.
I'm the customer. You just-
And then as a group, remember, what do they do good? What have they done better, and what do they learn from?
Okay, so based
ow.
based on everything
Dang
we
it.
discussed,
Freaking bar. Right in the way. And I'm
It's
already
learning
in
to
a
be
bad
the bar,
mood.
isn't it?
I'm already in a bad mood. Okay, go ahead.
feel anything.
so based on everything that we discussed, is as far as the product, you agree that this is the product for you, you feel 100% confident in renewal life or I do it here. I never say it in-house. The dream cell remodeling.
Well, because it's
Taking care
different
of
here.
everything.
It's much different.
So we found the product, we found the company, the installation method, everything that you said. It looks like we're checking all the boxes. So outside of the price and payment, is there any reason why we wouldn't be able to move forward today?
I'm just not sure about the install. What exactly are you guys doing?
The Dream Style Reflash, the unique process that we created, how we cut out the frame. Remember I showed you all the pictures and the ways the other guys do it?
Okay, so you're taking all of the window out.
We're taking the whole window out, we're cutting out the aluminum frame, and then we're re-weatherproofing the opening to make sure that you don't have any kind of water infiltration coming in or additional damage to the stucco like what you have now.
It's just that my neighbor, I think she just had hers done and they did the same thing. And that's a little out of my price range. 30, what is it?
We
31,000?
haven't even discussed the price at this point.
You haven't showed it to me? I can see it. I'm acting like as a customer because the customer is going to do exactly that. They're over your shoulder.
Yeah. I know it's there somewhere.
And that could be your response.
It's like the leaner clothes. Like
Yeah.
this.
The leaner.
And that could have been your response because I would have probably said the same thing.
Just
'Cause
sign right
they
here.
look. And they're
Oh,
like,
yeah, they
what?
do.
30? I'm like, hey, I haven't finished yet.
Well,
You're
that's
building
the
a
thing,
Pro
too,
V
is that
door and there's
we've
the price
already,
right
I've
there.
already told you that it's going to be in this price range.
Okay,
We
just
already
give
have
it to
on
me.
the sheet.
Just give it to me.
So,
I'm sitting down.
all right. So again, based on everything that we need to do, and again, it's not going to be surprised. We've discussed the different options. We talked about what the cost versus value comparisons and what this quality of the product should be costing. You know, so based on everything that we discussed, replace all 9 windows and 2 patio doors. We are looking at the list price of the 1-year price of $57,617.
Whoa, 57,000? 57 for 9 windows and 2 doors. Wow. I mean, I know you guys do more work than most, but that's really expensive. I wasn't expecting that.
Well,
Dan, I
again,
was not
considering
expecting
what
that.
we discussed about 45 minutes ago, that the price is going to be between 55 and 62, you know. Again,
I'm playing the customer.
I get you, but you're not,
I
you
know.
haven't gone through the whole thing.
Okay. I'm just going to roll over
Because
them.
I already hit you
Okay.
with, hey, this is what it's
Yes,
gonna
I
be.
understand
You
that's
want to come
that's how much it is.
back. Okay.
I agree that it's a fair price. Let's just go
Okay,
from there.
good. All right, here you go. Let's sign the contract.
You didn't go through all the price lists.
But again, that's not what we're asking you to pay because we do have that 30-year anniversary going on. I mentioned earlier, buy one get one 50% off. So if we take that into consideration, it's pretty significant savings. It will end up saving you a total of $14,404. So it brings the total price down to the total investment price down to $43,213.
That's still
A lot of savings on
wow.
that.
Wow. Are you waiting for that? Are you waiting for them to say, wow? And you're like, I know, it's a big savings.
Better hurry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not gonna ask you to pay that price.
Yeah, well, no,
Wow.
this is the price. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you
Okay.
mentioned too that, you were looking at more of a monthly payment option. So basically, this is with zero down. Obviously, you can put more money or put money into it if you'd like. Did you have a number in mind? Or was there a certain amount of cash that you were looking to pay as far as your initial investment?
No, I've seen advertisements. I know that a lot of window companies offer the 0. So I didn't expect to put a deposit down on it.
So you
And
wanted to put no money down?
no money down. But yeah, that 920 is way out of my price range. And I really don't want to pay that kind of interest either.
Okay. So we do have some zero interest options. Are you in a position to pay cash?
No, I wanted to finance everything.
Okay. So we do have a couple of different options available. We've got a 12 months, no interest, no payment option. But you do have to pay it off within 12 months. Otherwise, it becomes an 18% interest rate. So
But even on a monthly payment, my payments would be on.
let's see, divided by 12. So it would be $3,601 a month.
Well, if I can't afford a down payment, then I can't afford that. There's no way.
So why don't we look at some longer term finance options? Are you
How
saying
long?
920 is too much? How much too much is that?
That's about double than
About
what
double.
I was budgeting for.
Yeah, that's just way out of my
So you
price
think
range.
somewhere around $500 a month?
Maybe not even 5, but maybe close to 4. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we do have some longer term options. I mean, you could, actually the most popular option is by far the 10-year. The reason why it's the most popular is because number one, there's no difference in interest rate. Normally when you're financing a longer term, you end up paying a higher interest rate, but with this program, it carries the same rate and there is no early payoff penalty. So you could easily be a little bit more aggressive if you want. I mean, and the other big reason why this is the most popular is because it has the lowest monthly payment commitments. So if you have months where you could pay $920 a month, you can actually pay it off quicker within 5 years, but your commitment is only $519. And what I find a lot of homeowners do is that I don't think anybody will pay it off over a 10-year period. A lot of times maybe you'll make a few payments and then you go to refinance your home, maybe you included in the mortgage or something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
that
or
makes
if you have other finance options that down the line are more attractive, you can refinance this and put it to a different rate or different term.
Well,
So
I'm gonna
519
be here. I'm gonna be here
half.
forever, but yeah, that's I don't think. No, I can't do the 519. It's finished for 10 years. That's a long time. And I know I get there's no prepayment penalty, but that's just still out of my budget.
So again, what were you thinking? Like 475?
More like 400.
Like $400
Yeah,
a month? Okay.
yeah. That's more that's getting close to where I would be comfortable. But this is still out of my price range.
Okay. So if we could get you around that 400, 425, then we could be able to move forward today?
I would definitely think about it. Yes.
So is that it and nothing else, or is there you still need to think about it? I mean, if basically we just talked about that this is the window solution that is going to fix all the problems. This is what you want, and you said that you're 100% confident in our company doing.
I am. I know that you guys there's a good window. You know, I haven't done too much research, but I've seen a couple of reviews. So that's not it. I mean, I know that you guys would do a good job. It's too much money. It's just too much money.
Too much on the monthly payment.
Yeah, way too much.
Well, we do have the initial visit discount that we talked about earlier. I mean, I could take a look at that. The other thing is that if we were to, what a lot of the homeowners do is a lot of times don't really, eat the elephant in one bite. A lot of times it makes more sense to start off with some of the bigger problem areas.
Maybe
eliminate some of the others.
Yeah. So what would it cost if I just took off the two sliding glass doors?
Well, I'll tell you what. Before I'll take a look at that, but before we do, why don't we see what the initial visit discount is? Because if we can get you down in the range that you're looking, then maybe we can just go and get everything wrapped up.
Okay.
We're down the
Sounds good.
So let's go back here. So now with everything, with the initial discount, it actually saves you an additional $4,322. So now you're $18,726 savings.
But see, I have
now
a
you're
car payment. I'm
$467.
paying on my son's car and his insurance. That's not going to be paid off until like the next 2 years. I can't swing the 467. It's got to be. It's for me to even consider this. It has to be even like closer to 4.
Closer to 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at what it looks like without the patio doors.
Okay.
Maybe we can do that, and we can come back in a couple of years. Or.
Well, I really like the patio doors, so.
Well, you were the one that suggested it.
I know. That's why I'm telling you. I really like them. So maybe one patio door. Yeah, maybe just one patio door.
Just do one patio
Like
door?
the one in the master bedrooms, I can deal with that. But the one in the living room, it's just way too noisy.
Okay. The other thing is all of the stool and apron, the jam extensions and casings. I mean, obviously it adds to.
Oh, that's extra?
Yeah, we already discussed that it was, yes.
I don't know what we discussed. We're at
I know
the price
you don't.
presentation.
So,
Okay.
I mean, are you okay with not having that? I mean, again, if it's.
It's not. I thought it would just be nice. So maybe if we just take that off, we can get closer to.
Let's see. Do you guys ever drop it to advanced loading?
I have, but then
It makes a big difference.
it makes a big difference. But we're not. I was told that we weren't supposed to sell it here, so I stopped doing it.
Oh, I do.
Oh, really? Say that again. Do we have to do what?
Huh?
I didn't hear what you
It
said.
knocks off, pretty much, it offsets the cost of the reflash.
Yeah.
It does, really?
The advanced low E glass.
Yeah, Scott's mentioned it, Vinny's mentioned it to me, and John. They're like,
So do
what
you
is
press
this
press
advanced
that
low
tab
E?
each time?
No, I mean, I'll do it, but
It doesn't
again, if there's.
That's a lower glass
Take-
package,
It's,
correct?
it
Yes.
doesn't
but
meet
it's-
Title 24.
But it's
Right.
actually in our glass presentation package. And rather than getting down to like 7 or 8, it gets you down to like 15 or 16.
Right. So you're going from like 95%, 98% energy efficient to I think 78 or something. Just by they're taking
It's
there's
on the
something
channel.
different. Is it the
It's
the microscopic layers?
Which is still going to be a more
It's gonna be a
efficient
clear
window than a
glass.
contractor grade window with only 50%.
But I was told that it doesn't meet Title 24's doors or windows.
Both.
No, there's 24 and 21.
Okay, then it's the windows, I think. Yeah, because I was just asked that question by Nana Walls.
Jeremy, quick question.
Glass.
Dustin, quick question. Title 24 is for doors or windows? What's 21? I usually say 21 is for windows and 24 is for doors.
Title 20 is
See?
That's what Windows is.
It's for
And your
the
customer doesn't know the
coefficient
term
right?
anyway.
Some do.
Yes, some do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 20.
It's
24?
yesterday or Saturday rather, my customer said, oh, and this will meet Title 24.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyways, I was told that I'm not supposed to do that anymore.
It removes the tint.
It does something that lowers the price. Energy Star is 0.25 and lower.
In the Midwest, the East Coast, U factor is more important than basically solar.
Correct. So that's why they can do the different glass.
That's where
pack.
triple panes and things like that come into play.
Advanced low E.
Because U factor of triple pane is way better.
Right.
Than basically is on double pane.
Right.
Your solar heat gauge coefficient is worse. So if you look even on the LAD also, or solar heat gauge, you don't even have one.
Wow.
All right, so making the changes that we discussed, actually now your payment comes down to $384 a month.
Wow. Wow. Wait. What did you do different?
You asked me to take off one of the doors?
One of the doors were $10,000.
Oh, yes.
Holy moly. I saw one at Home Depot for like $1,200. Wow. How much are your windows a piece? Can I get a price breakdown of this?
Yeah, they're about $1,900 to $2,200 a window.
No, the cost, I want like labor and materials and all that.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I'm sorry.
it's all in. It's all in pricing.
No, I want a breakdown. I want to itemize.
Nope, we don't do that.
Some customers, some people, I've gotten that.
So now we're at $384
Yeah,
a month.
it sounds good. Let's
Email
go.
it to me.
And you know what? The better news is I was able to keep the jam extensions casing and the stool and apron in there, and we're still down at $380.
That sounds great.
That's
Thanks,
with
Dan.
referral.
I don't want to be a customer. I don't feel good. Really, guys, I'm not focused at all. Are there more of those?
Yes, and I won't tell you.
Over there?
I won't tell you they're in the refrigerator across the hall in the right drawer. Right.
There's none in here?
Correct.
The right crisper drawer?
If you find two, I'd like. There's a whole drawer full.
Yeah, Lamar's the customer.
I'm the customer. I'm in trouble. 'Cause I like spies.
Salespeople are the easiest people to sell.
They are, absolutely. Yeah, so I'd love to be part of the closing. So I'm not sure where I am. Closing.
Okay, so Norman, after everything we've discussed,
Mr. Norman.
I did just call you Norman, didn't I? I don't care. After everything we've discussed, not to mention.
After everything we've been through?
Not to mention what we found during the inspection.
Kicking me out after all.
This is going to take care of everything that we've discussed. We're going to take out your old windows in the entirety, right?
obviously gonna haul them off. I'm not gonna leave them here on your property.
Sorry, Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. I did not mean to say
I'm
that.
done with them. Then, of course, we're going to, when we take out the
That's okay, I hear it every day.
we're gonna rehash each opening as we discussed. Right? Then we're gonna put in the new window system, which is going to obviously resolve all the issues that we've been having. So based on everything we've discussed, and let me ask you this, what do you think it's gonna come to?
Yeah, I like to do that
So
too.
what do you have, 9 windows, 2 doors?
And keep in mind, we've already priced and crushed.
Okay,
you've
so
already-
I can't go full hardball.
Right, you can't go.
Most people think it's about $1,000 a window.
Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
But you've already priced and crushed, so you
So
know
they
that
should
you know
pay
it's
1.5
not more than-
times.
You know it's not more than.
Oh, I think
$1,000.
It's about
With us,
15.
it's
If
like
you were
I
gonna
was-
go whole hog, you know,
I was
20, 26, 27 probably. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't prepared to pay that, but.
Talk to him. He's your.
26 or 27, which.
So-
26.
You want those installed, right?
Around 20, 25 grand probably. We only got 12.
After everything we've discussed, and I told you, obviously, we're not the cheapest window.
That's why I went that high.
We've got a long way to go.
Oh.
We've got a long way to go. What this tells me is I didn't do a very good job. Obviously,
I'm gonna grant you.
You know what? I like that you even said that out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you just say what is
Yeah,
real,
own
the
it.
real thing,
Own it.
or you say, okay, the elephant in the room is me. I know it's gonna come down to price. I am a salesperson until I'm proven innocent. I'm gonna ask you for your sale. So already expect that. When you verbalize stuff, it makes people calm down. So I love that you just said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like.
Love it.
I say that. to
I
people
must have
because-
screwed up somewhere.
Yeah, right. It's like, obviously, I didn't do a very good job because.
I think you missed some things that we needed to do.
You mean you missed a window or two? No, that's not what you're talking about.
No, what I'm talking about is based on what we talked about earlier in terms of the average cost of a window.
Oh, this,
National
like this
average-
sheet here.
The national average for a vinyl frame window installed is $1,700, right? So obviously there are companies that can sell something, build something, install something cheap, right? We're not that company. So based on everything that we've discussed, based on our installation method, based on the product itself, obviously it's a higher grade product. We've done this one, use higher grade materials to prevent things from happening to happen to lower grade windows. So obviously it's going to be this. So based on everything we've
Well,
discussed.
you know, you did show me that you've got a different way of putting pins. And I like that in, what's that called? Dura. Yeah, that stuff.
Right. Exclusive to Anderson because we invented it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exclusive to who?
Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah. They're coming in an hour.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Twice. Well, you know, it's probably gonna be somewhere around 40 grand, probably.
Okay, well, again, I mean, we obviously.
I mean, we're talking discounts, right?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, you mean full boat?
That's correct. What we're talking about first is obviously I told you we have the 3-tier pricing, right? So I'm going to show you the 1-year pricing that we've discussed.
I'm not
Give you
interested
three
in that.
prices. Of course you're not, but I'm going to show you. This is
Okay, all right.
obviously
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Okay, all right. So based on everything we've discussed, now keep in mind, I'm not asking you to pay this much. Obviously, we called off our flyer and we know discounts are coming, okay? So, but for this price to get started, you're looking at a total of $57,617. Norm, keep in mind, I'm not asking you to pay this much.
It's good. We wouldn't get far.
Okay.
That's an average response.
Okay.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But
I wouldn't want to show that either, 'cause I wouldn't want to show that.
did you?
I wish there was one extra page that we can swipe to get rid of the overall price and just put like a payment.
Yeah.
So they're not staring at that whopper on top. You know,
Okay,
it's,
so Norm, at this price, obviously, you'd be looking
It's
at.
the lien.
what I mentioned some of our.
No, I
programs
don't
that
do
we have
that
available.
either. I
Right,
just,
of course, we have the 12 months at 0%.
I just wish there was an extra swipe. I'm sure they can put it in the app.
However, your finances are none of my business. So
No,
if you're in a
depends
position
on-
to use the 0% for 12
If
months,
they-
you know, if that works for you, that'd be great.
If they want
Well,
different options,
Yeah.
even then you can toggle on and
Let's take
toggle
a
off
look at the
and go back.
discounts. I understand how you.
I don't
can
really
come
write
to that.
anything out. except for
Well, let me ask you this.
large amount of windows. I'll write all the windows down, what rooms,
Based on everything.
size,
And
United
talking about the
inches,
window system, the design, the colors, everything.
pretty much in
that we
case something goes wrong
select
with this, I don't have to go back.
and
I've
you
learned
see
that
how
from
you hold
Sean.
this as the value for everything that-
I don't really write
I'll
anything
grant you
down.
this much, you told me more in the last couple hours than anybody ever did. Everybody else comes out here, measures, throws a price at me, and they're gone. So you obviously know what you're talking about. Okay, I'll grant that that's a good value.
Okay, so
But
based
it
on everything we've
justifies-
discussed.
Yeah, based on
You
everything.
can see how we hold the value of everything.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Oh, so you write this down, so you're not showing it from here.
You gotta plug that.
I'll show it from there, but I'll write it down.
And then put it in their face?
Yeah, I put this.
And then
this
turn
is-
this
I-
back around?
I do this initially when I say, hey, look, when I'm talking about the
Where'd you
initial
get
visit
that?
discount.
Is that
I created it.
Is it in the showroom and all those?
Oh, you did it?
offices?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's just something.
Okay,
I'm
Norm, stay with me.
I'm
And
looking
you know,
at it.
the image of the
Okay.
fish shaking
So-
hands.
All right.
Welcome to the family.
Welcome to
Now,
the
your
family.
first discount.
It's that we
Taken
don't
right
remind
off the
them
top.
to-
That's
What
why I
payment
do
plan are you going with the 5-year?
Okay. So your total.
Right. It's a good
yeah.
range.
Yeah.
That's a huge
So
savings.
we came
So
all the
you
way
do
down
a
to
0
14.4.
for 2 and this one or 699.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
No,
Okay.
focus, focus.
So your total discount, 14,404, brings your total to only 43,13.
When I do
with a
this
payment of
upfront,
920.
it also reminds them
Now,
that
is
there
that
is.
payment of
I know.
920? Is that going to work within your
Yeah,
budget?
because with this, you have to go
So you're
back.
thinking more like 850?
No, I
Although
was thinking more like.
You do still see that,
So
that
what?
big one,
Half
then you
that,
see the
probably.
discount.
Man, not
Then
even
you see the final
that,
price,
no.
but it's all
So for
It's all mushed
50?
together. You got the 25% and you've got the initial savings discount, but then they're together and they want to know, well, what is it with the 30,
Somewhere
the
around
30 day?
400.
So is this the
400
30 day?
Is what it's going to take.
It's much easier.
It's a discount. It's good
Well,
through the end of the month.
yeah.
It's
So if we can get to a
But I-
payment
you
of
know,
400 a
Yeah.
month.
Are you still
This
giving them the
is for 5
25%?
years.
What?
They still giving them the
And
25%?
I'm not sure you
Yeah,
can ever
that's
get
the
me
flyer that is out
400
right
for
now.
5 years.
I used
Well,
it yesterday.
obviously,
We
I'm
got a
like,
lot of ways
no.
to go.
I wish they would.
Obviously, when you're talking
Jesus.
about this sum,
The initial would be
that
24.
first, if you're going to shorten the term,
I wish they would change it on the tablet so that the initial discount would be 20%.
Instead of 25? Yeah, so we can build a little in there. Yeah, because there are
Make it
some.
more attractive to look forward today.
I did, I don't feel good. Yeah, you do, I don't,
This
I
is a
just.
fixed rate. It's a simple interest loan, and there is no prepayment penalty on it, right? So the longer term.
I'm very
it's a
serious.
lower payment, but then you have flexibility
Yeah.
in being able.
And I have it
No
scheduled for
prepayment
2.
penalty.
Not even.
I see it here.
Yeah, I got it, I'm sorry. I haven't even replied my whole family. And my niece just had a baby, I'm like.
So if there's
Why do you
more,
dis-
if there
you-
are other windows.
Did you delete it?
Priority, because there's issues with them that need to get done, then obviously we can take a look at.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
I'm still shocked at 43 grand.
How can we be shocked at 43 when we talked about?
Well, I know we talked about it, but, you know, Window World was out here and they told me it was gonna be $38. So,
And you didn't sign up with them?
something about that kid just bothered.
What
That kid wasn't normal.
From moving forward with them at that price.
It was a tract on his arms.
Wow.
Well, you know,
You wouldn't be able to see mine.
that's why you have,
Okay.
stay with you.
Right, and you're gonna need to lay down because everyone needs to go.
That's true.
Yeah, you're gonna have
That's
to.
true.
So
Matt,
enough
we gotta
fighting.
wrap this up.
Enough fighting.
Well, listen, you know, originally I thought this was gonna cost me like 15 grand. So I've got a little money saved. What if I put down $6,000? What does that do?
How many windows was it?
9? Is that?
9 and 2?
Nine windows, two doors.
This is the same
This
package.
is the same,
Yeah.
you guys are all working on the same?
And it's, but again, you got jam extensions in case and it's still on different. I mean, it adds.
It's the one-off.
Probably $5
And that's
grand.
another thing, as you're, okay, you originally called us out here to discuss certain reasons why you picked up the phone, but in addition to that, we found all these Plus, you gotta agree, we're changing the configuration, so this is more of a unique situation, which is right up the alley for, which is right up the alley of Dream Style, but we can agree that these windows are now not just windows, they're complete custom with stool and apron. It's gonna be a little bit more.
Right. Okay. So with your $6,000 down, then to get you closer to your comfortable payment, then obviously we're going to need to find a choice. So if we were to take the same rate over a 10-year period with your $6,000 down, you'd be at $447.
You get me closer to 400, I think we can do this. 447
All right.
still.
So you're telling me if we're at $400 a month that I can run your business today, is that correct?
Is that in nothing else?
Yes. All right.
Take your
Well,
time.
show me
Mark.
what you got.
Yeah.
Show me what you got.
We're gonna have to take off 14 windows.
We're gonna take your windows out and leave you with that window.
I know a really good person that can install.
So now they're vinyl.
Jose. All right, Norm. There we
Oh,
are.
$395.
$395. We're under your $400 mark.
Yeah, that's
Like to
for
welcome
10
you
years.
to-
I'm gonna roll over.
That's your thing. There you go.
There you go. All right. Who's my customer? Mark? Sure. Want to be the customer?
He's the only one that's been sitting here non-involved.
Oh, I'm involved, I'm just quiet.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Mr. Lance. I want to make sure that we covered everything that you called us out here for. Remember, we looked at the windows. You told me that they were drafty, and you had a lot of heat gain in the summer. In the winter, you had those cold drafts through there. And in addition, what did we find when we went out to that first window there in the living room? You remember what we found outside?
I do, I remember that you were pointing out the little cracks in the stucco. I thought that was house setting, but you informed me that was a water management problem. So that's something I'd never heard of before.
Absolutely. Now, I can't say for sure whether there's damage in there at this point, but I think what we can agree upon is that if you get a driving rain, that water is going to go somewhere. Is that fair to say? And that crack is an absolute possible.
There's definitely a crack there.
It's possible. Is it possible that the water is going to get inside your house?
Sure.
Okay. Like I say, I don't know whether there's damage in there. So, in addition to the problems we talked about, we found the cracks in the stucco. We found that, what did we find in little Johnny's room besides the porno max? We found what did that one window look like? It seemed to be kind of foggy. He pointed that out to me.
Yeah, it's not very clear, and I'm cleaning the heck out of it. It's still not very.
And during our discussion, we talked about how that could possibly be a seal failure. Do you remember what a seal failure is?
Right.
Okay. So, and these are replacement windows already, and they're vinyl windows. And you told me during the presentation you weren't comfortable putting vinyl windows in. Is that correct?
These only last a couple of years, so I have to just look at a little more longevity.
And as much as you love me, you don't want me back here in a couple of years to do it again, right? Okay, good.
Nice of you guys to tell me I had dead skin.
I didn't know.
Really?
You need some sandpaper?
I couldn't see it.
How are we doing?
All right, good.
I was focusing on ways to beat you. Okay, so what we designed here, as we went through the list, is we decided on the Duracast product, the fiberglass composite product. And
Consumer Reports never went rated.
Right. And Mrs. Lance, that mythical figure, she.
You know, my wife passed away.
I thought this was Mrs. Lance.
No, that's actually my sister. We're very close, but nonetheless.
And
I'm surprised you should have just said, no, that's my brother.
Well, you know, where are you?
I know the difference.
Where are you on the timeline? I don't know.
I think the one thing that I can just maybe interject, I think that when you're going into the price breakdown, I think you're going off on a tangent, and it should just be
Oh, I
Hey,
was
you-
romancing.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm just
We're not
doing
doing
price
romancing.
rollout? Is that
We're not
it?
doing romancing.
Oh, okay,
It's,
crap.
it's,
Do
you
price-
know what, you
Let's
guys,
just do a rollout then.
yeah. So
See?
Mr. Lansky
Already
called
priced
us out here for this.
Right. All right, good. So,
I don't know whether
So-
to shoot me or shoot you.
shoot both of us.
Go for it.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So you agree that this is the window package you design when that time comes? These are the windows you want?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense up
Okay.
to this point.
All right, great.
What do they cost?
Well, we hold the retail value on these, the window system we just discussed to be 57,617. Can you understand how all that,
How much?
57,617. 57,617.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of money.
Awkward silence.
Can you see how?
Who speaks first? Yeah, right.
It's a jewel.
You can only play that so long. Well, I'm not asking you to pay that. I just want to make it clear. But this, we hold this to be the retail value for all that work and the problems we have to solve. Can you see how it justifies that? How your house, the needs on your house justify this?
Well, you know, you do have a point because I did buy windows 10 years ago. They've already failed on me. And I spent maybe 20% of that then. So, yeah, it's a bit of a stretch.
Right, well, if you called us out at that point, we probably would have been about 20% less. Do you agree that time is of the essence when we take care of this? Once again, I'm not asking you to pay that. You called us with a promotion in mind, if I remember correctly. Do you have, yeah, you showed me that discount, that promotion. And when I punch that in, that brings you a savings of $14,404 today, bringing it down to only $37,213. And what most of our clients do is take advantage of our programs. We have 12 months same as cash, 24 months same as cash.
So most of your clients do that? They just do it for a year?
No, actually.
Oh, I thought you just said that.
Yeah. I was in the middle of a sentence. What most of our clients do is take advantage of our programs. We have 12 months same as cash, or in this case, 60 payments at 60 months at $793. So let me ask you, when the time comes, how does that $793 fit your budget?
A little steep, a little steep.
Open an account, open up an account.
Yeah. A little steep for you. So what did you have in mind? How much too much is that?
Gosh, if I could get that down around $500, you know, we could keep talking, but that's way out of reach for me right now.
Okay.
Now, is it a deposit? Did we even talk about deposit yet?
Well, this is based on a no deposit account. Had you thought about putting a deposit down?
Yeah, what's a normal deposit on?
10%.
Well, we usually
I'd
about
say
85%.
I usually say
Well, let's
Which
talk
is that-
about what's comfortable for your budget.
That's what I would say. It's different for everybody. What's
Yeah.
comfortable for you.
I said traditionally, most people put 10% down, but you can put down whatever you want.
Then you work that into the measure payment, obviously, because the only
Yes.
monies that he can take now would
It's
be
the deposit.
$1,000 or 10% of the project.
Yes, my
price.
customer yesterday gave me $6,000. I took on a credit card, which we can on the day of and only the day of. I swiped it once for $1,000 deposit.
Oh.
I swiped it twice. Another one for 5,000 on the measure.
For measure.
And I took a picture of both in the authorize.net. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Great. You know, I forgot even the password for,
I have a picture of it.
Yeah, I've got a photo.
could you send it?
Yeah.
Hey, focus here, Mr. Lance.
Okay, so let's get that payment down.
So,
So all you need to do is
let's
swipe
see.
right a couple times and you're down to 500.
you know what, I didn't even take this deposit out.
No, you didn't, but that's how you can make it look like you did make a mistake. Oh, I'm sorry.
let me
Most
look
of
at
our customers usually put 10% down. Does that not work for you?
Right,
Then you
exactly.
can back that out because you put that in there. You put that in there and you didn't take it back
I
out.
didn't take it out, right. So, when the time comes, this $6,000, this deposit of $6,000, is that comfortable for you? Is that work in your budget?
Yeah, we can work that out. That's fine.
Okay, and so how much too much is this payment total? Where's it?
Well, you said my deposit's not reflected in it yet.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I was talking off script. This deposit is.
It should.
Bring the total down.
Well, it does when you do a full frame.
Full frame, you get everything.
But
The
you're
25%
adding that
promotion
in.
saves you.
Where does the miscellaneous come from? Because in our suite, it was, everything was right there.
43,213.
I don't know.
With a $6,000 deposit. That leaves
I
us
understand, but it should be as easy as that.
What? You guys aren't using my
Exactly.
freedom?
And in this case, we open an account 60 months at $793. So you said just a moment ago that
Are
that's
there any more newer gas?
well, there might be. Yes. It depends on how you'd like to buy. If you're comfortable at the end of this with going forward today, then we can take a look at that.
Well, let's look at today's price and let's see if we get the payment down to.
Okay.
So you're $293 off of my target price.
Okay, so
per
if-
month.
let's take a look at that. Your comfort zone's around $500.
Right.
You know, in order to get there, there are other programs we can use to
Let's see
extend the
those.
payment.
We've already gotten to that point. Let's see those.
So we could extend it up to 120 payments if you like. Okay.
When you first came here, you said something about a same-day incentive. Is that
Well, yeah,
back
I'm gonna roll that. Absolutely. So if I can get that down to around $500 payment, is that enough to earn your business today?
Let's see your best price. We'll go for that.
Well, I'm trying to work with your budget. So you said a minute ago, $500 was comfortable for you in your budget? If I can get you there, is that enough to earn your business today?
Maybe.
Maybe. What else is there? Did I miss something else?
I want the best price I can get.
Okay.
I'm trying to prolong it so he doesn't have to go.
And I'm trying.
So you're giving me my best. You got 20 more minutes, Lance. Drag it out.
Put him on the spit.
I'll buy.
No, don't do that.
So what I'm trying to get you to do is go back and show me the same-day incentive price and then go through the different financing again.
I'd like to do that, but I want to get a commitment on it first.
Well, I already told you $500 is comfortable. I said that
But-
5 minutes ago.
Sure.
Right.
But then you said maybe.
Because you keep prolonging it. Now you're,
Okay.
instead of
He's not
going
gonna give that
toward-
to you if you don't commit.
Still,
It's a
you're
give to
going
get.
toward the sale, now you're going away from this.
Is that it? Nothing else?
Is that it and nothing else? If
Yes,
I can
that's
get
it,
you to
nothing else.
$500 a month,
That's easy.
can we move forward in your business? Yes, is that it or nothing else? So the only thing that's stopping us from moving forward is that we need to get to a $500 payment. Let me see what I have for you. Here we go. Welcome to the family. Done.
Let's do a quick video.
Well, I know.
Hey, I'm proud of those things.
How's that $395 work out for you?
Better. My goodness.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Welcome
Or
to
I-
Dream Style.
Now, is that the maximum?
You haven't seen any of my videos?
It's been on there.
The workplace?
I didn't even
I
roll.
put-
I didn't even roll.
My videos are
The
longer
cost
than 1
savings
minute,
program today
so
is-
I have to edit them and
Yeah.
it will,
Save you an
workplace,
additional
I can post them.
$4,322 for a total savings of $18,726.
Come here, let me show you.
Bringing that,
Who's that from?
yes.
The mask.
Now we rolled off.
Fire Marshal Bill
Roll
on
off
Mad
really.
TV.
Be more comfortable at 520 over 84 months.
Let's do that.
Welcome to Dream Style.
You got it.
Thank you.
Another one.
You don't want it?
Sexton here.
Hi.
And we have created something. Daydream Style, Southern California, San Diego. I have customers, this is Sexton here.
You're running out of relatives to make these, aren't you?
That'd be funny if you looked over it and said, I'm sorry, your name's again?
Yeah, I know. I remind myself before I hit the video, I'm like, okay, it's, trust me, I mean, I'm nervous too.
Nice house. You can tell.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's buffering.
Okay, who'd like to be the customer?
Scott.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Give it to us. Just give it.
Scott, I'm kind of new at doing this, so please bear with me.
Really? How old are you?
I'm old, but I'm new in this industry. So
Oh, gosh, we got a
today's
new.
my first day.
You know, I'm sorry. I'd much rather buy from someone who's more experienced. I'd have a lot more
Oh, I've got
confidence
experience.
with Norm here.
That's your first mistake.
So what we did here, we did 9 windows and a door, and the retail cost for your project is $36,173. And I was able to give you the current promotion right now, which is a 25% discount. If we set up a program for you, open an account, you get a $578 a month. And this is the total retail price. This is the amount that I was able to discount, $9,043 off of the retail price of $36,173, which brings it down to $27,130. $578 a month. How would that fit your monthly budget?
Not at all. It's like, whoa, that's way more than I was expecting.
Okay. What do you think would be a comfortable price for you?
A comfortable price would be like I was planning on paying 10 grand for my windows.
For everything, yeah.
I was going to pay cash. I wasn't going to finance.
Okay.
Not interested in
10,000 in cash to pay.
A lot of people do it that way, and you're sure more than welcome to do that. I'm going to give you the same pricing credentials if you were a cash customer or if you open an account. And we've got different links and terms for the different types of an account. When you were going to purchase your windows, how much did you have available as a starter payment or a down payment?
Well, I was planning on paying $10,000 cash for all of it. I didn't want to finance anything.
Okay. You can see with the scope of work that we're doing.
Signature service award.
With removing the frames of the existing windows and taking down the blinds and the shutters and things like that. How this is a fair value for the project that you have with 9 windows and 1 door.
I mean, I guess I would say yes, but I mean, it just doesn't work within my budget. I mean, I have a $10,000 budget. That's what I was planning on spending.
If you initially wanted to put that $10,000 towards your whole project, why don't we work that into a deposit and let's see what I can do and with different scenarios. If we didn't take anything from you right now, we've got an account for you that'll go down to $429 a month and also $326 a month with nothing down. Would you like me to factor in that deposit and see what we can do for you here as far as what our overall cost would be?
Well, again, I mean, I set my budget at 10,000. That's what I have. That's what I want to pay. I mean, it's just we're not even close.
Okay.
So.
We don't sell crap, so it's at $10,000.
Let me ask you a question. Where did you get that price? As far as your $10,000, where did you perceive that from, or what was your thought there?
I did a little research. I priced out some windows online, and I went to Home Depot and looked, and I talked to neighbors and friends and people who have had their windows replaced.
When you priced the windows online, were you looking at a vinyl window as opposed to a composite window that we've been talking about?
That is correct.
Two different levels.
Right.
We also have vinyl windows, which we could do for you.
Mm-hmm.
You told me yourself that this is a house that you were going to stay in for many, many years to come. And you want to have something that has a transferable warranty. But I thought I heard you correctly. Is that what you said?
A transferable warranty.
Right. When you were to relocate, the warranty goes with the new purchaser of the home. So
Right, but I thought your warranty wasn't transferable.
On the window that you purchased here, which is the composite window, the Duracast window, yes, it is a transferable warranty.
From Dreamstyle?
Yes. And we also warranty the labor to put in the window, which is unheard of in the industry. And I don't know how much homework you did on this, but if you looked up our ratings on Google, we're the #1 remodeling company in the United States out of 65,000 companies that qualified for this particular competition. And we've held that first place rating for 2017 and 18, and embarking on it again for 19 here. We're also the
And that's based
#1.
on what?
Excuse me?
And that's based on what? #1?
Sales volume to qualify.
Okay.
And then customer satisfaction reviews and things like that.
Okay. Can we go back to the warranty though? Impervia
Sure.
warranty is
Remember when,
transferable
they had
from
a-
Dreamstyle or
Yes. it is
Dreamstyle
from Dreamstyle. All the
only
warranties,
on the Impervia?
the Impervia, and then the 2 levels of windows prior above that.
Architect Series Reserve and the
Yeah,
250
and
or
what we actually have 4 series of windows: the good, better, best, and then custom wood windows too, which is the top of the line. I say ridiculous when I talk to my clients, depending on what we're trying to put in the home. But what you've got is a very, very high quality window that you'll never have any problems with the frames or the glass package, which is also warranty. And our labor for each window that we put in has a lifetime warranty. That's unheard of in any construction company. Have you heard of that from any other companies that you've talked about or read the forums online?
Yeah, all their warranties are transferable.
That's true, yeah.
But do they warranty their labor for how long?
No, they don't.
Yeah, right. So I
No,
do
they have a
forever.
lifetime warranty.
Right, yeah. They don't know what it covers.
Right.
Yeah, they
And if
just
you look
read
at-
a lifetime warranty and they think it's a lifetime
And if
warranty.
you remember our little
And you can get nitpicky on that too.
If you remember the little PowerPoint exercise that we went through here before, you saw the whole warranty is in one paragraph. Other companies have 5 to 6 pages of what they want. Excuse me?
1 page, 2 paragraphs.
I wasn't very literate in school, so I'm gonna miss that. But
Just like, a question, the Dream Style warranty is not transferable.
That's what they're saying. I was
Depends on
unaware of
the
that.
line, depends on the line of the window. The fiberglass window, the vinyl windows, no. But fiberglass on up is a transferable warranty.
But it's still a lifetime warranty on
On labor
on
and the window
everything.
itself, correct.
Even the 250s, it's still a lifetime warranty on
But
the
not on the
homeowner,
Correct.
on the original homeowner.
Correct.
But it doesn't transfer to the new homeowner and then thereafter, you have to go up. It was on the,
It's not on warranty.
Scott, I'm just with you, and I just discovered this in the last week. Let's
Yeah.
ask Mark just a minute.
we went over this on a PowerPoint one Monday. You guys remember?
I don't know.
The last day that Eddie was here, I remember, we did it.
Eddie?
Eddie.
Okay.
We need
We need clarification.
ruling.
I do remember.
We need clarification.
Really easy. Trent's,
Dream
Dream style.
Warranty on everything except
they'll
for
talk
250.
for you. Thanks.
I just asked the entire question.
Okay, what's the question?
Lifetime warranty on everything except for 250 and transferable.
The Dream Style
The
warranty.
Dream Style warranty.
Dream style is not transferable.
On any of
It's not,
That's
No,
what I thought.
That's what I thought.
it's
Okay,
the lifetime, the life of the homeowner.
The
however long they
original
live
home.
there.
correct.
So they're,
It is.
oh, wow.
So dream style does not transfer. It covers basically the insulation, seal failure, things like that. The way it was always set up was anything we touch, we're basically in warranty. Now, the factory warranty, you got lifetime that's transferable with Impervia.
Right, of
But
course.
all the other ones are
Okay, so that's why I
lifetime.
needed to be
It's
clarified.
Pella.
Yep.
The
The other
Pella
ones are not
warranty is
That sounds
transferable.
even better now, right?
So
The other ones are not lifetime?
they are not lifetime. So
Wait a
architect
minute,
is not lifetime. The vinyl
Architect isn't lifetime?
It is not lifetime.
And
But it
250?
is transferable. So
This
Up
is,
to what?
but this is, you're talking about the Pella warranty.
I'm talking about Pella.
Yeah, that's the difference. I don't care about
We're
Pella.
talking about the
What's vinyl?
manufacturer warranty.
Yes.
That's, okay, we're gonna talk about manufacturer and then we're gonna talk about
Last time
the
I
double
checked.
cover in addition to being double covered.
Take a look.
Why don't we just go straight to what you're covered
Exactly,
for?
exactly.
Because people like to hear double
Well,
coverage.
yeah, they like that, but the other thing too is you want them to understand what the factory warranty, like when we were going through with RVA, was we got separated from there. Now they at least understand what the factory warranty that's kicked in.
Mhm.
So I always.
2010 and 2?
Yeah, basically. So Provia is different. So Provia has finished warranties based on the type of series.
7 and 10.
They do include breakage. So if there's an accidental breakage, ball goes to the window, they will cover that. They have certain things that Pella doesn't, which is nice.
Okay. So when we're talking with the customer, as you were just doing, Pella does have a transferable warranty on Impervia.
They transfer all of them. They're all transferable. But Impervia is the only one that has lifetime.
What are the other ones?
20 year.
But then Dream Style.
For the vinyl as well?
But then, yes.
But here's the deal.
doesn't matter.
One phone call to one company, they're never ever going to deal with Pella. They're only going to deal with us.
Correct.
Right,
So,
That is correct.
so what's
So
the
why
point?
even bring
Why
up Pella
belabor it, right?
manufacturer?
Right. Well,
They just
basically,
want to hear
Don't get in
that.
the weeds.
well, I kind of sell
They
it
have a
as,
lifetime.
listen, Pella's
But it's
warranty
not
is like everybody else's. It's set up to protect the
But
manufacturers,
ours-
right?
It's not
The
really
reason that
warranty,
we
it
have
does
the
not
warranty
say
that we do is
Okay. Okay, so it's
we're
a
having Pella
lifetime
build
warranty
our windows to our
on
specifications,
the original.
which means we can then
On
warranty
the-
it the way
the
we
product
do,
and the
unlike Pella. Right?
Okay.
So it's like, then you're.
I mean, then we're talking about
It's literally the
the
best
additional
warranty on the
warranty
market, bar none,
is being,
right?
We give you lifetime warranty for everything across the board. That
Correct.
covers everything.
Correct.
And we also have a transferability on the
With the
Impervia
Pella.
product with the
Pella.
manufacturer.
see, here's where it gets sticky because
So
it says lifetime warranty. Pella lifetime warranty.
But then they have their exclusions.
Right.
So there's
Well,
like
lifetime
everybody
means
else.
20 years. What?
For what product?
Anyway.
Well, let's just say we're selling architect.
Okay. So what is the architect? You have to pull
it's
up the actual.
non-transferable, but it's a lifetime warranty. with
So pull up the
ours.
factory
Right,
warranty.
and that's
So
what
what you want to do is look at the factory warranty.
It's the best
for
warranty on the
architect.
market, bar none. You're not gonna get any better than this, right? It's like we put our money where our mouth is.
See what it
Yeah,
says.
we're not only warranting the product,
only stick
we're
with
You
warranting
can
the
tell a lot
factory.
about a manufacturer by the way
But in
they
addition to
warranty
that,
is written,
Yep.
right? So when I show them,
No.
Provia
Milgard's,
does.
I show them
Provia does, yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
I show them Milgard's warranty and I look at
Usually
it
in
and I
that
read
I have it
situation,
too.
most people buy based on
I
price.
just
They
say
have
that
no
the-
idea what they're
The
getting.
dream style
When I hear
warranty
lifetime
covers
warranty, they assume that
all of
means
that,
anything that's going
except
to happen
And they
dogs
don't
and
know
gods
what
and
they
cookies.
know.
The number one thing that I hear from
Silly
my
children.
customers is, well, we had a lifetime warranty, but the company is no longer
Right.
existing.
Yeah,
And
you're
number
white.
two thing
Yeah,
that
you're
I
white.
hear from my customers, keep in mind, 85 to 90% of our business is replacing replacement windows. The second thing I hear from my
So is this
customers
good?
is,
Yes.
well, we had a lifetime warranty,
But the company
we
went out of
didn't-
business.
Yeah, that's that over here. We're all
But
joking.
they didn't tell us about the exclusions, right? When you read the exclusions, because most people, when they hear
Oh, no, it
lifetime
was
warranty,
subcontracted. We don't honor improper install. We didn't install it, so. Bye.
That'd be a monthly payment with 10 grand down.
so my total is 24,418, so more than double what I was anticipating.
But go ahead, Simon, because it's him.
So, you know, I agree that it is a much better window system. It's, you know, Mark, everything you've done, you're a great guy, love the product and everything, but I've just got $10,000 to spend, that's all I'm gonna spend.
I'll tell you what, let's reduce the size of your project then. Where would you like to start? How would you like to whittle that down? The doors, sliding glass doors are very, very expensive.
That's a great idea. I like that. You know what? I would rather get a better quality product since I'm gonna stay here forever.
And I've got to be honest
And-
with you, and
and
I
if-
probably should have brought this up a long time ago, but over 80% of our clients, 83% to be exact, do this in phases. And it's
Okay.
perfectly fine to do this.
You know what?
every
I'm
couple
open to
years.
that. Let's take a look at, yeah.
Every couple of years.
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah, no.
do that.
Whatever I
What's the
need to
other
do,
statistic?
whatever I need to do to get to that $10,000 figure so I can pay cash, it's like, let's do it. I'm
Okay,
ready.
what we'll do is we'll set all this up, we'll whittle this down to get it within your price constraints now, which means we're probably gonna cut this basically in half for you.
Okay.
As far as what we planned on doing.
So do you want the top floor or the
Would
bottom
you,
floor? Or front
the
and
rule
back?
of thumb is, what rooms do you live in the most, is the most comfortable for you? The upstairs bedrooms, which aren't used very much, let's do those in phase two. Let's do that one little sliding glass door in phase two. And let's do the rest of the house now if I'm here with you. And that'll get down to your price point. We're off and running. Once you get your foot in the door here with Dream Star Remodeling, I can give you the same price and courtesies down the road that I am today too. So I'd love to have you.
You do what? Give me the what?
I'm going to give you the same pricing courtesies down the road.
Pricing courtesies, okay.
That I have today.
I thought you said the same pricing. I'm like, whoa. Okay.
That's it. Thanks for being a client.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Did everybody get a chance to go? All right, so let me ask real quick, and wrapping up. All right, hey guys. In wrapping up, was this helpful?
Yes.
Did anybody have any major takeaways, or anything, or any ideas that you saw anyone throw out that was helpful? Bueller? Yeah, keep it in. Don't give it up. How about table one? Did you guys have any takeaways?
Yeah, when Scott was presenting to Lamar, Lamar said, you know, that's just way out of my price range. And he actually verbalized the elephant in the room instead of, you know, hearing it and then putting walls up. He said, what did he say?
Well, when I showed him the price, he said that was a lot more than what he was expecting. said, wow. I said, I guess I didn't do a very good job then in building the value. Pretty good.
That's true.
I'm like, I love that you just verbalize that.
Yeah.
Because some people wouldn't, sometimes when you verbalize the blatant thing, it brings the stress down, it brings all of the walls back down. I really like that.
Yeah, that's good. I used to always joke around because at the end of it, if they didn't move forward, I failed you guys, man. If you gave me one piece of advice that I could do different next time I run into this situation to help a customer out so I don't fail them, what would you give me? And then they'd give me what they do, and I try to turn it back around on them. but it was a good way to get them open up because it makes you vulnerable, right? So good job. Good job. What about you guys?
When we were sitting with Mike presenting to me and JC, we were kind of like fast talking and wanting to get to the price, and he was taking us through it as if maybe we were wanting to have our hands held a little longer and, you know, that sort of thing. So our feedback for him was just kind of read us and just hit us in the face with the price and then talk about how, instead of, you know, such a long intro to the price.
Yeah.
Mirroring, mention your.
Speed it up and get the point, then get the objection.
And then
figure
start
out.
talking about how.
Weird. I think I've said, yeah, I can't believe that. Couldn't believe that. So what you're telling me is you speak a lot. All right, what about you guys? And do not hold anything back. You hold it back, you're all living on the border tonight.
We just talk about focusing more on the social media presence when you go into pricing.
Okay.
In reference to people coming back on you with the, I need to get 3 bids stuff. We just kind of all discuss the fact that getting 3 bids, if you play it right, can be, especially if you mention it before they mention it. You know, like at the beginning, so like in years past, getting 3 bids was a pretty normal thing to do. To be honest with you, we find in this business that homeowner cycles run 5 to 7 years behind what we're seeing out there every day. And today, with the social media presence that, you know, your more reputable, longer tenured companies are out there trying to achieve, most of your research on these things is going to be done inside of there, so that you're in a pretty good position of power by the time we're out of time.
Okay.
And it's just a return, you know, that necessity, because who's got time today to sit down for 4 different 3-hour appointments discussing windows when you could do that all on your own one night sitting on your couch watching Jimmy Fallon or whatever.
Think about how many people have bad communication in their families to the point where both of them can't show up for the same appointment at the same time, right? So to set 3 of those up, you know, how much time and effort does it take to plan those 3 things, right? So you think about that, guys, I'm doing you a favor because really how many times do you have to plan somebody else to come back out and basically come out and visit you about windows, right? That's going to take a lot of planning and then time you're setting aside. Let me ask you, if I could save you, 2-3 hours of your time for basically 6 minutes, would it be worth it? Then you can take them back down your competitive info, right? So good job. Those are all great things. So
What did you guys come up with?
we came up with identify. I don't know. Let me tell you what I came up with. Let me think about it for a minute. Let me think. I'll get back to you tomorrow on that.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you tomorrow on that.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Can I call you tomorrow on that?
Email that.
How about I never make snap decisions like that.
I'm not making you a rubber band sandwich, so.
No rubber band sandwich? All right. All right, so real quick, in ending, never give up on something you really want. I consider this more of the presentation, the commitment. But if you get into there, I call this like you get into the house and you run into a situation that you're relating it to before, or literally basically something that somebody's ran into that you've heard. So again, no prejudging, right? The answer is like this, right? What does it have to do to give a master presentation? The answer is
Nothing.
okay. So again, I owe it to them to give them a master presentation 100% of the time. It's not up to me to decide whether or not they will or will not buy my products, right? Or services. That's not my decision. I let the presentation dictate that. So again, at the end of that thing, we got to remember, don't give up on something you really want. So at the end of the day, we want a fee for service so we can take care of our family, right? We want to make sure they get what they want too. It's difficult to wait, but it's worse to regret. Means if you think you're going to set up a date and time for them to call you and tell you yes or no, you've already set yourself up for regret because you know the best time to make an educated decision is when all the facts are in front of you, right? Just like a kid, you study for a test, you study right before because basically you'd have taken it 2 weeks ago, you wouldn't have done rather darn because you're going to have other things that that diverted your attention from there. So again, let's go ahead today as we focus on our give to get, right? Make sure we're isolating those objections. Make sure, again, we're getting ahead of it as we flow down through price impressioning, all the things we do. Make sure you're starting out with that great inspection. And I know you guys are going to go out and have a fantastic week. So again, visit your installs, get your referrals. You know, congratulations to Dana on doing a hell of a good job with the video testimonials she keeps throwing on Workplace. So I appreciate that. So again, get into there. Get out to your customers. Film a little video with them. Trust me, it identifies and it locks them into it. That's what I love about it, because I already know when I see that video, they're not canceling. Because again, they're bought into the process enough where they're willing to do it. So getting yourself used to doing that, even if you mock role play with yourself a little bit, before and after pictures, different things like that, setting yourself up for it, right? And in the give to get side of it, don't be scared. If they're going to give something, get something in return, right? So if you're going to give that initial visit savings, guys, everybody knows 4 people, whether it's friend, family, neighbors, coworkers, or relatives, possibly interested in or windows or patio doors or soon to be bathrooms, right? Let me ask you, who do you know at the end of the install? I haven't earned it yet, but at the install, I can pick up those 4 names that are going to help me, obviously, justify why I'm giving it to you, right? If you can't, we're not comfortable with 4 people, what about 3 phone calls, potential customers that are in the same situation as you're in today that you can call and share with them your honest experience, right? What about a before and after? What about a Google review? What about these different things we can do, right? What about a before and after picture with you in it, right? How about us in your before and after picture? Whatever it might be that you feel like can help you earn more business, that's what you need to be selling. You can create all of your content. You can create all the things you need to do to be more powerful on your own, to create your own business inside the business. It's up to you, right? If it is to be, it's up to me, one of the oldest sayings. So with that said, I appreciate you guys' attention today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's meeting. Somebody take something out of it today? Good. Good. Unless you're Jeremy. Jeremy, I hope you get bit by a shark tonight. All right. Other than that, let's hooday and get on out of here, right? We ready? Let's give a new guy a hooday to remember, all right? Yeah. All right. Hooday! Who do you think gonna beat San Diego? Nobody! Have a good day, guys. Appreciate it. Hi, Charlie.
Awesome.
Who do you think gonna beat SoCal? Nobody.
Nobody.
All right. See you, brother.
Thanks. See you, Dustin.
So training's at 2 today?
2.
1?
Yell it out real quick. Bath training 2 o'clock, not 1 o'clock.
There's no power at the showroom.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. We might, you guys, is Trade Place going to have the conference room open, I wonder? If you're going to bath training and one of those, go to Trade Place. We're going to meet in the conference room at Trade Place. The showroom is out of electric right now. Two bells. They're doing some construction out front.
Miramar Road was completely shut down. Temporarily. Mike, by the way, Mike.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hopefully you didn't invite me too much.
Now the latest, getting schooled, so I need a lot of it.